Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And of course, the big talk today is Greenland. And I think it's safe to say, and you can let me know if you agree with this or not, the question no longer is if Greenland will become a part of the United States. The question is no longer if Trump will take Greenland. The question is when and how, right? That's it. It is a done deal. President Trump has already decided that Greenland is going to be a part of the United States. And there's nothing that Denmark or NATO are going to be able to do about it. And, you know, what President Trump is doing with Greenland and what he just did with Venezuela and these other big moves is making the world safe. You know, China and Russia have been on the move to take over everything, right? We've talked all week about how China and Russia and some of their satellite nations like Cuba and Iran were working with Venezuela to attack the United States on a daily basis for many years through the drugs, the illegals, the terrorist gangs, MS-13, Trinidad, all that. And they're doing similar things in a different way in Greenland. And the United States has been asleep for a long time. There's an old saying that the president of the United States is the leader of the free world. Well, that's kind of fallen to the wayside until Trump, because we've had incompetent dopes and corrupt public officials as our presidents and holding other high offices in this country for most of our lives. And since the Clinton era, China has been on the move, as has Russia. Russia's been expanding. They took Crimea when Obama was president. They're going to hang on to at least a big chunk of Ukraine when all this is settled. China is making moves all over the place. And President Trump understands, and he's taking action to secure the world from a Russia-Chinese takeover, which has been going on. And that's going to be requiring Greenland becoming a part of the United States. And I do truly believe that it's no longer a question of if, it's just when and how. Denmark is a tiny little country, and I learned today that Denmark's population is about the size of Wyoming. And Wyoming has maybe the smallest population of any U.S. state. If not the smallest, they're pretty close to it. And I remember it wasn't that many years ago, they only had one House member. There were so few people there for a long time. That's how few people lived in Wyoming. It's a tiny little country. And Denmark, part of the NATO alliance, they don't have the ability to properly patrol and protect Greenland, the area around Greenland, or the area in between North America and Europe and Greenland from this Chinese-Russian aggression. And President Trump is enough of this, and he's going to take it. And Greenland is going to be a part of it. And we're seeing it reported widely, Trump weighs using U.S. military to acquire Greenland. And this is from sources out of the White House. So we'll be live on the radio in just a couple of minutes. If you'd like to call in and share your thoughts on this, certainly you are welcome to do so. The number to call in is toll free 888 465 20. I don't think so. 888 465 2631. It's a toll free call, no matter where you are watching. And I think you'd be very hard pressed to find any MAGA people who would be opposed to the United States making Greenland a part of our country. You know, China has, through just aggression and moving all over the place, to buying public officials off, has been taking over large parts of the world just through their influence. And it's got to be stopped. You know, these liberals, they ask questions like, why did Trump pardon the former president of Honduras who was involved with the drug traffickers? Well, there's many reasons, but the main reason he told us on Saturday. It's because the majority party in Honduras asked him to do so and wanted him pardoned, and he did it. And now Honduras in Latin America is an ally of the United States, as is El Salvador, as is Venezuela now, as is Argentina and Chile. He's kicking the Chinese out of South America, and the Russians and the Cubans. And now he's going to kick the Russians and the Chinese out of Greenland and the areas around Greenland, between North America and Greenland and Europe and Greenland. That's it. And it's going to happen. So you better get your minds wrapped around that, liberals. It's going to be the largest land expansion in history. I couldn't believe when this was first discussed at the very beginning of Trump's second term, and they said it would be a land acquisition larger than the Louisiana Purchase. That just blew my mind. The Louisiana Purchase changed everything for the United States. That was the first move to make us a major world power. All right, we're going to be live in just seconds, so stand by. $20 and we're going to be live. If you are on hold, stand by. We have so much to cover today. Here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We've got a lot to cover today, a lot. And I can't believe it's Wednesday already. But I'm going to talk about what is really the most important story of today. I've got a lot of things I'm going to cover, but Greenland. And we're in a new phase now with Greenland. We've been asking this question all year. Is Trump going to take Greenland? Is Greenland going to become a part of the United States? We're beyond that now. That question has been answered, and the answer is yes. Trump is going to make Greenland part of the United States. That's it. It's been decided, and you can see by everything that's coming out of the White House. CNBC is reporting, and this is being reported all over the place, Trump weighs using U.S. military to acquire Greenland. These are from White House sources. This story is being quoted all over the place. Okay? All over the place. And the only question is, well, there's two questions, actually, because we've already moved beyond if Greenland will become a part of the United States. Will Trump take Greenland and make it a part of the United States? The answers to those questions are yes to both. The question now is simply this: when and how's he going to do it? Right? Is he going to send the military over there and just say it's ours? Is there going to be some kind of vote? You know, my guess would be, because the president in Greenland the president in the White House are so firm that Greenland is going to become a part of the United States, that they have already made agreements with native leadership in Greenland, not Denmark, but native leadership in Greenland. There was a story that dropped yesterday afternoon, didn't get a lot of publicity, but Greenland and Denmark have requested a meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So, you know, perhaps at this point, Denmark is getting to the point of, okay, acceptance. It's going to happen. And it's got to happen. You know, China and Russia have both been on the move for the last 30 to 40 years, and they've been making terrible inroads all over the place. They've got to be stopped. Trump made the major move and is stopping them, and maybe completely stop them in South America, in Latin America. Now, he's going to kick them out of the Arctic region by taking Greenland. There's only about 30,000 people in Greenland. That's fewer people than are at your average Trump rally. Think about that. Very few people. It's a huge land mass, many times larger than Texas, larger than Alaska. Someone told me this morning that it's 25% larger than Alaska. Very few people there, undeveloped. It's filled with a lot of natural resources, and Denmark has been stealing them for themselves and exploiting the native people of of Greenland. And, what's going to happen when we take Greenland and it's a part of the United States, the people of Greenland are going to be, the natives of Greenland are all going to be millionaires, multi-millionaires. We don't want the resources there. We don't need them. We have our own whatever they've got. President Trump's going to set up a profit-sharing operation so that the native population of Greenland get paid from the profits coming out of Greenland, not being ripped off and taken back to the colonial power of Denmark. In fact, Denmark's whole economy may depend on Greenland ripping it off and stealing from it. And when they become a part of the United States, it is going to be one of the hottest tourist destinations in the world. We might end up taking a future MAGA cruise to Greenland. I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to have to start building hotel rooms. And you know what? The natives of Greenland, they're not even going to be working. They're just going to be getting their money deposited every month from the government, from their profit sharing of Greenland. Greenland is going to become one of the hottest tourist destinations in the world, and maybe historically the hottest cold climate tourist destination in the world. I know that when we take over Greenland and it becomes a part of the United States, I'm going to go visit. Aren't you? How many of you would go to Greenland? If it was part of the United States, how many of you would visit Greenland if it was only just for the weekend? Alaska's so far, it takes forever to fly there. Greenland, how long does it take to fly to Greenland? And it is very strategically important. We don't hear a lot about Greenland. Now, I may be wrong about this, but my recollection is that Charles Lindbergh, on his transatlantic flight, flew over Greenland, right? Because the distance at the top of the globe is so small. That's one of the reasons, one of the major reasons it's so strategically important. There are going to be so many beautiful resorts built in Greenland when they become a part of the United States. I wouldn't be surprised if the Trump organization build a PGA 18-hole indoor golf course. All the golf courses would have to be indoors. There'll be massive, beautiful resorts built up all over the place. And the natives of Greenland, none of them are going to have to work. They're going to have to import workers. They're not going to go work in hotels, casinos, golf courses, because they're all going to be millionaires through the profit sharing from the natural resources of Greenland. It's going to be amazing. And I know it's going to happen because of the way that the president and the White House are talking. And the president, of course, the main reason is to strategically to stop China and Russia with all the aggression that they're doing, both in South America and in the Arctic region, between North America and Europe, because Greenland just can't be secured by Denmark. Do they even have a navy in Denmark? And if they do, how many surface combat vessels do they have? So this is a wonderful thing. And I remember early last year, Don Jr. led a team and flew to Greenland on Trump Force One, and I saw a lot of native Greenlanders wearing Make America Great Again hats, didn't you? And this has been on President Trump's mind for a while. On election night, this last time, before he was reelected, it was election night, at President Trump's private election party at Mar-a-Lago, one of the guests was the top, most famous online influencer from Greenland. So the Trump organization, President Trump, the family, and since he became president again, the White House obviously have been this past year talking, making inroads, and making agreements and deals with natives in Greenland. That's why this all of a sudden came up again, and it's about to happen. So that's it, and I'm very excited about it. Aren't you? How could you not be? I'll tell you another thing I'm excited about, and that is that I will never drive a car again that has bald tires, because at Friendly Tire in Margate, where you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire, you'll never drive on bald tires ever again. You and your family will always be driving on safe tires. And you know what? If you have kids or grandkids that are out there driving, make sure that they have the best tires with the best tread. Get them over to Friendly Tire in Margate. As low as $75 a tire out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire, and by the way, that's for the some of the most common sizes that fit some of the most popular vehicles on the road today. Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. As low as $75 a tire. Those are brand new tires. He has thousands of good used tires in stock, as low as $35 a tire, and that's the out the door and on the road price as well. He also does tire repairs. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Do mealtimes feel more stressful than satisfying in your home? You're not alone. Between busy schedules, picky eaters, and rising grocery costs, eating healthy can't feel impossible. That's why Dennis Heikkinen wrote the family-friendly Healthy Eating Cookbook, available on Amazon. This practical, easy-to-use cookbook is packed with over 100 simple, nutritious, kid-approved recipes designed for real families and real life. Every meal is easy to prepare, budget-friendly, and made to help your whole family enjoy breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks without spending hours in the kitchen. Whether you're a busy parent, a beginner cook, or just trying to build healthier habits at home, the family-friendly Healthy Eating Cookbook gives you the confidence to cook with ease and bring joy back to your life. Order your copy right now on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. The family-friendly Healthy Eating Cookbook on Amazon. Peptide research is exploding, and GLP-1 is leading the charge. Across the country, researchers are exploring metabolic, regenerative, and cellular repair models like never before. At MyPurePeptide.com, based in Dallas, Texas, they supply high-purity, lab-verified peptides for controlled research environments. Whether your work involves GLP-1 metabolic studies tied to weight and energy balance, cellular health and modulation models, or tissue repair pathways, MyPurePeptide.com is committed to supporting your research with clarity and consistency. Visit MyPurePeptide.com and use code DALLAS to save 25% on your order for research use only. MyPurePeptide.com. All right, we are 1 minute away. We'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. $30 seconds. All right, we are back on this Wednesday morning as President Trump prepares to make Greenland a part of the United States. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is the Major.
Hey, what's up?
I lived in and worked in Greenland for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a little bit about it, and it's very comfortable in the summertime. It's, chilly, but you can wear a sweater or a jacket. It's around 45 degrees or so. And another amazing thing in the summer, of course, I lived there year-round for 2 years. the sun never really goes down. I mean,
really?
It just around midnight, it's barely. The sun is still there. It's like 24 hours a day. You got sunlight.
That means they can be in business 24 hours a day when the resorts start popping up.
Absolutely, you have a lot of great ideas, and I look forward to. I'll definitely be going back, and
Heck
I
yeah.
want to get a ride again on skis. This time I'll be a passenger on skis.
I'll tell you, they'll have to build a new airport to handle the tourism and resorts. They're going to put Iceland out of business. A lot of people go to Iceland to visit. People will not go to Iceland anymore. They'll be going to Greenland.
Yes. Yeah.
It's exciting.
You have a lot of great ideas. I heard today, and talk about resorts. Oh my God! But we really need that position for our own security. Like I said, I brought in these steel I-beams that are 30,000 pounds one piece. And in the 60s, I helped build the radar sites that are there now.
When we talk about China, we're having a lot of fun because it's something to celebrate. But militarily, with China and Russia, if they have submarines or even ships that have combat aircraft on them, they can easily reach both Europe or North America because the distance that far north is so short, right? I mean, so from a naval, it's really a major threat to both Europe and North America to not have us keeping China and Russia out of there with their naval assets.
Oh, Trump is absolutely right. We've got to have it because of the curvature of the Earth, and we need to be on top of the world up there. Thanks very much.
All right, appreciate the call. And if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to share this. This is the Prime Minister of Austria, and he's given a warning to the President of the United States.
If you take it, we take every single base of the Americans from Aviano to Ramstein, from Romania to all the other military bases will be confiscated and you will lose it. And the whole position of American power since World War II, if you take Greenland, you have to leave. It's very simple, Mrs. Miller. This is the leverage we have. You need these bases for global power protection. You won't have it. And we can defend ourselves very well, and we will do that without the US nuclear shield, without the US troops in Europe, without the American bases. We will simply run these bases ourselves, and we run your boys home into Chicago and Ohio. And goodbye. If you go extreme, we go extreme as well. Be sure about it.
Okay, now this is interesting. This is the Prime Minister of Austria, and he's talking about taking over Europe. The last time an Austrian talked about taking over Europe, he's a pretty well-known person. You may have heard of him. His name was Adolf Hitler. So here, I don't think we're going to let an Austrian tell us that they're taking over Europe. So far as NATO, here's something that has to be understood. Without the United States, there is no NATO. That's it. The countries of Europe, because we've been NATO since it was established in, 46, 48? I can't remember. 46, 48 was NATO established? Eisenhower was the first commander of NATO when he was still a general, before he was president. And the countries of Europe have very small armies. They're basically parades. They have a couple dozen people that they symbolically send if there's a military action somewhere, but they have very small armies. They virtually have no navies or air forces. They have nothing without us. And so far as the United States bases and the troops, so what? Maybe we should just leave Europe, right? It's already been taken over by the Muslims, and Russia's on the move, and let Europe be on their own. But if I were the NATO nations, if I was Europe, and I had to take either advice from Donald Trump as to the future security of Europe, or the leader of Austria, who's talking about taking over the whole place, I would listen to Donald Trump, wouldn't you? Yeah.
If you take it, we take every single base of the Americans from Aviano to Ramstein, from Romania to all the other military bases will be confiscated and you will lose it. And the whole position of American power since World War II, if you take Greenland, you have to leave. It's very simple, Mrs. Miller. This is the leverage we have. You need the spaces for global power protection. You won't have it. And we can defend ourselves very well, and we will do that without the US nuclear shield, without the US troops in Europe, without the American bases. We will simply run these bases ourselves, and we run your boys home into Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They're going to run. Leader of Austria is going to run our boys into Chicago. So they're not only going to run them back here, they're going to invade the United States all the way to the Midwest. Oh my goodness. If you've ever wondered what Adolf Hitler would have sounded like if he spoke English, you just heard it from the Austrian leader. Same accent as Hitler, if you were speaking today in English. I wonder, first of all, if the U.S. troops left Europe, Russia would take it over. It'd be World War III the next day, and Russia would win, and they'd take it over. So it'd all be Russia. But do you think that Europe could? Now, this guy in Austria thinks they don't need our military, they don't need our army, they don't need our air force, they don't need our nuclear shield and all these things, that we can just pack it all up and leave with it. How would they do without our tourists too? You know what Europe is right now? You know what Europe is? Well, other than part of the Caliph, okay, it's part of that, right? But other than that, it's a tourist trap. Like south of the border when you're driving up north off I-95, Europe is one big tourist trap. That's it. And all they have are these tourist traps that people go to, American tourists. And without American tourists, without the American military, and without America being a part of NATO, Europe will cease to exist. It will fall like that on a dime. It'll fall. It'll be taken over by two groups, Russia and the Muslims. That'll be it. And it'll be forever gone. And that's just the way of it. And, what President Trump is doing, we were talking about this yesterday with Venezuela, but since now we have Greenland that's being discussed, there's a major reset going on in the entire world to put America back in its proper place as the leader of the free world and to stop the aggression of Russia and China that have just been running amok. All right, we'll take some more calls. The number's 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Charles. I'm calling from the West Coast, and, with the whole situation with Greenland and Trump, pretty fucking stupid.
Okay, there we go. Yes. Class act from the left. All right, the rest of you on hold, stand by. I want to ask you this, and this may be the most important question I ask you of the day. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? If so, call Lighthouse Medical. Lighthouse Medical, they rid Steve of his neuropathy symptoms 3.5 years ago. He saw immediate relief after the first treatment, and 3.5 years have gone by, and his symptoms have not returned. He is still it's free. He's like, he doesn't even know he has neuropathy. He's like neuropathy free, thanks to Lighthouse Medical. They can help you with your neuropathy no matter where you are located in the world. Give them a call, 754-222-6642, and say bye-bye to your neuropathy. 754-222-6642. 6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. That's lighthousemedicalcenter.com. If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll go back to the phones shortly.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Do you want healthier chickens, stronger immunity, and rich golden yolked eggs without relying on chemicals? Of course you do, but how do you do it, and where do you even begin? That's easy with the new book from author Mary Butler, The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Nature's Remedies, available on Amazon. Author Mary Butler is a devoted chicken keeper and herbal enthusiast who brings more than a decade of hands-on experience straight to your coop. The Herbal Hen House is a warm, practical guide that shows you how to use safe, effective herbs to support digestion, boost immunity, and improve egg quality, as well as help prevent common flock problems naturally. When you read The Herbal Hen House, you'll discover easy, beginner-friendly herbal remedies, simple DIY blends that you can make at home, as well as clear guidance on what's safe, what to avoid, and how to care for chickens at every stage of life, from chicks to senior hens. Whether you're raising your very first flock or have been tending chickens for years, the Herbal Hen House gives you the confidence to ditch those harsh chemicals and raise healthier, happier chickens the natural way. The Herbal Hen House, Nurturing Your Chickens with Natural Remedies, from author Mary Butler, is available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Order your copy right now. Your chickens will thank you. Ever wanted to grab a text from a screenshot and send it without having to log into a site or app that's plastered with ads? Free text from image.com keeps it simple. No sign-in, no faff. Drop a pic, copy the words. Try free text from image.com.
Okay, we'll be back in less than a minute, guys, so hang in there. We'll be back in about 40 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. Mm-hmm. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. We're talking about Greenland, and if you're just tuning in, the White House has released comments to the press that's being widely reported that President Trump is considering using the military to take Greenland. And what I've been talking about is the question is no longer if Greenland will become a part of the United States. It's when and how. It's already been decided by the president. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I just want to make you get your listeners to Google it. But every time Trump says boots on the ground, there's this song called Boots on the Ground. Every time he says that, I just laugh because I just think about that song every time he says it.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. I'm trying to be funny, Brian. Lighten up, brother. Lighten up.
Are you trying to be funny? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, another thing, too.
Glad you told me.
I'm hearing him talking about he wants to take over Venezuela. He wants to trade over Greenland.
We already have taken over. We already have conquered Venezuela. It's under the protection of the United States.
Brian, we can't protect our own country. I'm not even getting to that. I'm not even, because it's just stupid. My thing about it is, what are people in Greenland and Venezuela going to say? They're not going to let us come in and take over their country.
Listen, I have not heard a single Venezuelan, other than Maduro in court the other day, be upset that we liberated them from Maduro. I hear a bunch of liberals. They're putting videos all over the internet. We have a huge Venezuelan population in Miami that's been on. They've been on television.
Miami. It's not in Venezuela, Brian. It's not in Venezuela.
No, there are. If you go on X, there's people in Venezuela constantly posting videos celebrating that they're free now. And I was telling you, my daughter has a friend in Venezuela. He's a Twitch streamer, and he said that that Maduro being removed by President Trump was the happiest day of his life.
His life, his.
Well, he's a Venezuelan in Venezuela. He lives in Venezuela.
I want people. I want to.
That's a Venezuelan in Venezuela. Now you on the left, what you're saying is your Trump derangement syndrome's clouded your mind, so you don't even know what you're saying. But what you're saying is you want the dictator back in power in Venezuela.
No, I don't, Brian. See, that's your problem now. No, I don't. He needs to be gone. Yeah, done with. He needs to be done. Bring him to court and try him. If you convict him, convict him. If you can't convict him. Do whatever you need to do with it. But he's not.
So you agree with what Trump's doing?
Brian, again, I don't agree with Trump did. I don't agree with Trump did. And I don't want to hear that. Well, you must be clear. You must be clear about.
So if you don't agree with what he did, so if you don't agree with what he did, you want the dictator back in power.
No, I don't.
Well, but he removed it. But you say President Trump. Because you're telling me President Trump. Excuse me. President Trump. Stop talking for a second. President Trump removed the dictator, and he's on trial now, right? You said that you don't agree with what Trump did. So that's what he did.
Brian, Trump has messed y'all minds up. Y'all can't even think for yourselves no more. Y'all really cannot think. If Trump tells you, like I always say, if Trump tells you one thing, you go believe anything.
No,
Trump
you
tells
said you said you don't agree with what Trump did, but you don't want the dictator in.
Because there was so many other ways he could have did it, Brian.
Oh, how? How's that? Tell us. Enlighten us. Enlighten us.
No, I'm not going to enlighten you.
You said there's other ways. You say there's other ways. Tell me how. Tell us how. How could it have been? Get off the phone. Gee whiz. There's other ways. Tell me how. I can't, You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm just calling from Denmark, and now I was just...
I'm sure you are. All right, now, if you're on hold, hang in there. It is very, very true that I have not heard a single Venezuelan upset about what happened. This is an amazing thing. I saw this in the local news today here in Florida, and this is not getting a lot of publicity. There is a bill in the Florida legislature right now to have marked on a driver's license whether someone is a citizen or not on the driver's license. And it's in the state legislature. It's expected to pass, and Ron DeSantis is expected to sign it into law. And this would become Florida law by sometime over the summer, perhaps July. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, isn't that a good thing? So what would happen if someone shows up to vote that you have to produce state-issued photo ID and it says you're not a citizen on the back of it? Oh, boy. Yeah, that's right. This is a great move by Florida. And you know what? Other states are going to do it. And the U.S. government, who's cracking down on these commercial truck drivers that are illegals, that have licenses from California, Governor Newsom is still giving them out to illegals. That's against the federal law. You know, the interstate highway system is owned by the federal government. So they're in charge of the interstate highway, I-95 and other, here in Florida, but the other interstates around the country that are part of the interstate highway system, they're owned and operated by the federal government. That's how for so many years the federal government was able to mandate the national 55 speed limit. Right? They also did that with the drinking age. The government put pressure using the roads, the interstates, to keep the drinking age at 21 in the past too. It used to be 19 when I was young, before I was 19. But, so the federal government has incredible authority when it comes to who can drive on the interstate highway system. And this will pass in Florida, putting on the driver's license whether or not you're a citizen. That is a great idea. I've been advocating for that for years. It's kind of like a restricted driver's license that you get when you have a restricted driver's license. Or the driver's license you have when you're under 21 looks different than when you're above 21. And it will say non-citizen or U.S. citizen in big letters on the back of the license. Oh, man, that's a great idea. And I can't wait for Ron DeSantis to sign it into law. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Mike. I'm calling.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Gabriela from Venezuela in Fort Lauderdale, Brian.
Hey.
And we are ecstatic. We are so happy. We love Trump. We support Trump. He can come and willingly we give our oil to him, and he can do whatever he wants with the oil. You know why? Because Cubans had it for free. Russians had it for free. China had it for free. They made deals with Maduro, and the regime were the only ones keeping the money. Not the people, not the Venezuelans. So, and let me tell you why. It's not because of the oil and the resources. They say that Maduro was kidnapping. He wasn't kidnapping. He was arrested. We were kidnapping. They kidnapped our country. I haven't been able to go back in 15 years. My family is there. They separate us. So we deserve this. We're so happy that we're getting justice. So people that haven't lived in Venezuela or Cuba, please, you're entitled to your opinion, but please don't try to take away this moment from us. Yes, we're happy, we celebrate it, and we are supporting this. So you can do a poll, and ask each 9 million of Venezuela outside my country if we are agree with Trump, and you can have almost a 99.9% approval. So please, just talk to a Venezuela, get your facts checked.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, when things settle down, are you going to go and visit your family?
Of course, I want to go back. I mean, I'm married to an American. I'm dying for him to come and see my country, to show him how beautiful my country is. And I have my niece and nephew there. I haven't seen him since they were 5 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
5 years old. And it's been 15 years. The first time I saw my parents after I left my country, it was 3 years after. And then the second time was 5 years later. So please, don't talk about kidnapping and him and his poor wife and his family separated when we are 9 million people out of my country, separated by our families. We lose our own family. People die in my country, and we cannot even go and say goodbye. So respect our feelings. We are happy, and please get your facts checked by a Venezuelan. So, and also, those people in New York protesting, I'm so happy that Trump knows that those are not Venezuelans, because he already said it. So I'm so happy that we don't have to start fact checking. Those are not us. We don't cover our faces. When we protest, we have 26 years experience, a master in protesting against the government. So don't come to say that we're gonna come to another country and protest with scar in our face and take out our hands of oil. It's not about the oil. It's about taking back our country and be free. We don't have embassies. We have to pay $1,000, the most expensive passport in the world.
Yeah.
So we can get it. So we can go back. So I don't even have a passport because I cannot leave U.S. I came here 15 years ago, and I applied for asylum because when I was protesting against the government in my country.
Well, hold on one second while I answer these lines. So, but you know, it's going to be an interesting thing. My guess is that here in South Florida, probably in Miami, maybe even in Doral, there'll be a Venezuelan passport office set up for people to get their Venezuelan passports like you. I wouldn't be surprised. And they're going to cost you nothing.
That's well, it always costs something, but it doesn't matter. It's not $1,000 that is gonna go.
Well, what
to
I
the
mean by
regime.
nothing, it'll
It's
be like
$1,000.
20, $30. It won't be, it won't be,
Right.
like a lot of money.
But imagine I come here for asylum and I try to pay. Or now, if I would try to get a passport, I would have to pay $1,000, and that money will not go to my book. It will go to the regime, which is a regime. It's not a government.
Well, listen, I gotta run for a break, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. You've added a lot to the conversation, and that liberal idiot from Texas. There you go. You said talk to a Venezuelan. We just did. And, it's an interesting thing because Cuba's going to fall soon because of the oil being cut off. But the Venezuela, the Cubans have been here for so long, most of them. They're multi-generational. Most Cubans, I would think, now maybe I'm wrong about this, and if any of our Cuban listeners would like to weigh in on this, I'm open to it. But I think the Cubans have been here so long, they're American, and I don't think that many Cubans are going to go back. Venezuela is different. I think a lot of the Venezuelans are going to go back because they want to go back, and they're still close enough like her who still have the connection there. Most Cubans, I think, that I know personally, I don't think they have much of a connection to Cuba anymore. That I don't mean that they won't go and visit and maybe track down family, but I'm talking about moving back. A lot of Venezuelans are going to move back. They're going to move back. They're going to move back in huge numbers. The Cubans, I don't think so much, but I could be wrong. But those of you that are Cuban in the audience, Cuban American, I would very much like to hear your thoughts on that. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell you guys the winter super sale going on right now from the next governor, the next governor of Minnesota, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow. Incredible deals going on at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane. The 6-piece MyPillow towel set, 50% off. The Giza Dream sheets that and I have all these products you hear me talk about. I've bought them with our promo code Kane at checkout. The 100% Giza Cotton Dream sheets, save over 50% off of those. There's a huge collection of blankets and comforters to get you through the winter months at MyPillow.com. Those also have deep discounts with our promo code Kane at checkout. And remember, you can use our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, for huge savings. And you're not just supporting us, you're supporting the next governor of Minnesota, Mike Lindell. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. We'll be right back. All right, stand by, guys. Okay. Stand by, guys. Stand by. We'll be back shortly. Yeah, please go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout. There's big savings going on there. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. I will be going to the phones when we get back. What do you guys think about the not having it on the license, whether or not you're a citizen or not? That is a great, great, great idea. Oh, Mark Kelly has lost his mind. I got to play this clip during the break to make sure this is the safer radio version. Hold on.
They talk about how this is a law enforcement operation, but if in fact 150 airplanes were used from, multiple services, it feels, less to me law enforcement and more like a military operation. Let me make it perfectly clear. This letter, or anything that Pete Hegseth says or does to me, is in no way going to affect the way I do my job and represent my constituents in the United States Senate. Ain't happening. So, his option, right now is he can continue with this kind of bull, or he can go take a hike.
Okay, good. Okay, that's the safer radio version. I had to make sure. There's two versions. One safe for radio and one that's not. Mark Kelly's lost his mind, so I'm going to play that on the radio in a few minutes. Has he not lost his mind? He's being recalled to active duty, and he's showing a lot of insubordination to the Secretary of War, isn't he? Oh, my goodness. All right, we'll be back in less than a minute. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. We're still in radio station break, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Charlie, and I'm calling from Palm City, Florida.
Hey, what's up, Palm City? What's happening?
Yeah, well, I'm a combat vet, Vietnam, 101st Airborne, and I totally, I'm blown away what Trump did, and the Delta Force is unbelievable. To not lose a person and get out of there, it's amazing. And the Venezuelan people in Florida are absolutely over the moon, and the people in Venezuela are excited. So it's a wonderful thing, and the Dems are crazy. Why would we discuss it in Congress? Because if we did that, they'd be tipped off, and we wouldn't have been able to do.
They would have told everybody. And Now, let me ask you. One thing that we hear from all these Venezuelans. I've not heard a single Venezuelan that's not happy about it. What year were you in Vietnam?
December '67, the whole year of '68.
Oh, okay.
The Tet Offensive up in Way.
Oh, you were there through Tet.
In the mountain.
You were there through Tet.
Yeah,
and the thing about the war in Vietnam, if you guys, the rules of engagement in Vietnam were so insane, and it wasn't being fought to win it, and you see a military operation like just went down in Venezuela. Could you imagine if you guys were allowed to operate like this Venezuelan mission, how fast the Vietnam War would have been over, and it would be a free democracy today?
Well, you're absolutely correct. And when they stopped the bombing up in Hanoi, everything changed. Everything changed. And you're absolutely right. I was thinking about that when I was on hold. The rules of engagement: don't fire until you're fired upon.
That was the rule in Vietnam. Think about that.
Yeah, I know. One time we were getting mortars, and we noticed a kid with a water buffalo in a rice paddy. And one of the guys said, "That's the spotter." We took that out, and unbelievably, the mortar stopped. So it's amazing. Two of my brothers are in Arlington. I just survived. I'm not a hero.
Yeah.
But two of my guys, one of which is buried right next to Audie Murphy.
Oh, wow.
He was Audie Murphy in a firefight. He lived. And our squad leader is in Arlington. He jumped on a grenade and saved the squad.
Wow.
God bless him.
Isn't that something? The thing about Vietnam, if Donald Trump or a Donald Trump-like president was president during Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh would have been captured. Guys walking around in flip-flops wouldn't have had a chance. He would have been captured in the early days of the war. It would have been over.
My God, I'm laughing my butt off. What a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Johnson was president, and that man was an idiot. So there you go.
Hey, all right. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You know, one of the things Venezuela has going for it is not only are there lots of Venezuelans, both here in the United States and in Venezuela, putting, videos out all over the internet. Have you noticed most of them are women? And the Venezuelan women are hot. So they've got very good spokespeople coming out from Venezuela. They're Venezuelan and they're hot women, and they're out there promoting the idea of the liberation of Venezuela is a good thing. And it's hard to oppose that. But just to tell you how bad things are with China and Russia, there's a Venezuelan Maduro oil tanker loaded with oil off the coast of Europe that the U.S. Navy was moving in on. Did you see what happened with this? Let me see if I got the story on it. And what happened is the Russian ships moved in to try to protect it because they want the oil. And the Maduro guys on the Venezuelan tanker off the coast of Europe got on the side of the ship and painted a Russian flag on it, and they're declaring themselves Russian. See how aggressive Russia is? We have this major military action going on, and they've injected themselves into this story. I can't find the story, but I did read it this morning. That's how active Russia is against us and what we're doing. All the more reason to go in and take Greenland, and why we have to take Greenland. Because the Russians just think they're running the world with the Chinese, and those days are over. This story with the oil tanker, curious to see what happens. It's getting very little news coverage, but I'm not sure if Trump's just going to let them go or demand that the tanker be handed over by Russia. We'll see if he wants to aggravate it or let them have their last tanker, because there are not going to be any more leaving Venezuela with Venezuelan oil that's going to go to anyone other than who Donald Trump wants it to go through. And this oil that Venezuela is giving the United States, I know the media are going to try to promote this as some kind of tribute, right? That we're taking the oil, we're stealing the oil. But did you hear what President Trump said? What is it, 50,000 barrels, 100,000, however many barrels it is? He's going to put that in a fund for Venezuela. So he's setting up a Venezuelan fund so the corrupt people that are still down there that we're allowing to stay in place don't steal the money. And the current government that's in place down there, many of these people also have indictments, right? Like the general and such, the vice president, she's corrupt. They've all been a part of it. This is what the left, because of their Trump derangement, just don't see things clearly. We're only allowing them to stay in power to keep the lights on down there. They're all going to be replaced, and some of them are going to go to prison, no doubt about it. Did you see these lunatic Democrats yesterday with their candlelight vigil for January 6th? Are you kidding me? This is all they've got. And they came out and sang, God bless America. And, when Democrats are praising America and God, they're desperate. They look like fools out there with their candles, didn't they? This is Rebel News. Rebel News is a very good conservative news outlet out of Canada. And this is Rebel News interviewing a Venezuelan woman.
So you probably saw some Democrats, including the new mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani, literally declare that what Trump did on Saturday morning was illegal. What do you think of that?
Again, if people don't live through it, they won't know how desperate us Venezuelans are for a change. I know they're talking about Trump only wanting the oil, but everybody's there for the oil. Russia, Iran, everybody's there for the oil already, China. So if Trump needs the oil to give us freedom, then that's a price we're willing to pay just so that we have our freedom. and make a change. In 26 years, nobody has done anything for our country except for Trump. So if that's a prize that he's the only one that has made an action on it, and he's the only one that has delivered his promise. So if that's the price we need to pay for it, then that's okay. Venezuela has a lot of other resources. It's not just oil. We have minerals. We have so many other things that once our country is better, then we, as Maria Corina always say, we will be an amazing country. We just need that change and somebody to help us for it.
Yeah, I mean, so I have not heard a single Venezuelan have an unkind word in regards to President Trump at all. Have you? No. And these are just random people that are Venezuelan that people are going up to at these events and talking to. It's only the Democrats in this country that are saying, we want the dictator in power. We want the dictator in power in Venezuela. Are you people out of your mind? You got to be out of your mind to take such a stupid position. Now, if you're in the state of Florida and you need roof replacement or repair, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, Tom Laporta works with every type of structure, okay? Residential, commercial, even municipal. He works with every type of roofing material, too, and he can handle the job of any size, whether it's one building, one home, or an HOA with over 450 units. Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing can handle the job. I've seen his work on many people's roofs, not just Steve Kane, but many of our listeners. He does incredible work, and he gives out his cell phone number. So imagine you have the owner of the company's cell phone number that you can contact before, during, and even after the project's done if you have a reason to. That's unheard of. I'm going to give you his cell phone number in a moment, and you can call or text Tom Laporta. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602 for Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You can also find him online at laportaroofing.com. Voted the best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's amazing. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got a lot more to cover. I've got some other topics I'm going to get into when we get back, but you're certainly welcome to call in about Greenland becoming a part of the United States, which is going to happen. It's a done deal, so get used to it, liberals. We got Venezuela on Saturday, and Greenland, it's just a matter of time. And who knows, Cuba may be next. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Ever wanted to grab a text from a screenshot and send it without having to log into a site or app that's plastered with ads? Free text from image.com keeps it simple. No sign-in, no faff. Drop a pic, copy the words. Try free text from image.com.
All right, we'll be back in just over a minute, so stand by. If you want to call in, the numbers pinned in the live chat. Wow. Huh. "30 seconds. We'll be back." All right, we're back, guys. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Welcome back, one and all. Oh, man, just such an exciting time. Okay, Senator Mark Kelly has lost his freaking mind. Did you see him lose it? And you know who else is losing it? Tim Walz. They're both losing their minds. But let's start with Senator Kelly. He was on CNN yesterday, and he just had a hysterical panic attack. Listen to this.
They talk about how this is a law enforcement operation, but if in fact 150 airplanes were used from, multiple services, it feels, less to me law enforcement and more like a military operation. Let me make it perfectly clear. This letter or anything that Pete Hegseth says or does to me is in no way going to affect the way I do my job and represent my constituents in the United States Senate. Ain't happening. So, his option, right now is he can continue with this kind of bull, or he can go take a hike. That's his options. And if I have an opportunity to, tell him that tomorrow, maybe I will.
Wow. He's been recalled to active duty, former Captain Mark Kelly. And to me, that sounds like insubordination against the Secretary of War, doesn't it? Insubordination. Maybe we got to add another charge there to former naval captain Mark Kelly. But I'll tell you this, okay? I've seen this type before. He's having a panic attack. He's having a complete panic attack. He's scared to death. He doesn't know what his future is. He thinks that he may be going to military prison. He really does. Because you could tell this brave naval aviator who's a combat veteran that he was bragging about and everything the other day, I guess when he's not going the speed of sound or close to it, he's not so brave, because I saw him shaking. He was holding the paper in his hands, and his hands looked to be shaking. His voice was quivering, and he was out of control and not thinking or speaking clearly. That's a man who was absolutely terrified, Mark Kelly. Yeah, that's something. He let the deep state rope him in to that Seditious Six video, and now he's the one who's paying the price. Now, you may have seen that Kristi Noem, they have sent thousands of federal agents into Minneapolis to start doing financial audits and accounting on the Medicaid plan there and these childless daycare centers and all. Did you see Tim Walz yesterday? Holy cow.
But by the 12th, we're going to have people receiving their payments. With that, I'll take some questions.
Okay, now the thing with Tim Walz, he's been on TV a lot since Nick Shirley's reporting dropped. It'll be 2 weeks on Friday. In the last 2 weeks, in particular in the last week, he does not look like the same person he looked a week ago. He has lost a lot of weight, hasn't he? He's lost a lot of weight. He's not eating. He's aged. In the last week, Tim Walz has aged about 20 years in his appearance. his hair, the little bit that he has, is disheveled. And you can also see not just the age on his face and the massive weight loss because he's not eating because he's scared to death. His suits are falling off of his body. So, like former Captain Mark Kelly in that press conference I just shared the clip from, he's in a worse state than even Kelly, Tim Walz. He's freaking out because he's scared. Now they got the agents there, and they're going to be looking at it. And listen to him talking a little bit as well.
Take some questions.
Governor, did you make the decision to end your campaign by yourself, or did you receive pressure from Democratic allies?
This is a decision that I make and make with my family. And certainly I think, as I said, it's the right decision. I'll note, I think it's appropriate we're here today. The war that's being waged against Minnesota, you're seeing it. We have a ridiculous surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with us.
Those 2,000 people, those are 2,000 federal agents. And no, they're not cooperating with you. You're going to cooperate with them. They're federal law enforcement, okay? They're not going to let the bank robbers be a part of the investigation into the bank robbery, Tim Walz.
Surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with us that are for a show of the cameras. I'm going to note to all of you, today is January 6th. There's no debate what happened. The President of the United States led an insurrection against a fair election to try and overturn that and, report both sides of this. Well, he said he really didn't. And
see the difference? And if you're, those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see the weight loss, the aging. This is all in a week. Massive weight loss. He's not eating and he's not sleeping. That's why, the weight, the anxiety, the panic, the fear of prison is why he's not eating. The age look is because he's not sleeping. And the Democrats are in trouble when they either mention January 6th or Epstein.
Courts convicted 400 of them, and he pardoned them. No, he did that. He did that, and that's today. And it's clear that we also saw today he implemented 5 states are being punished with a freezing of federal funds illegally.
Yeah, because you're stealing. The Somali pirates, they're not taking ships anymore. They're just taking Medicaid dollars in Minnesota.
That were appropriated by Congress, our tax dollars. And I find it interesting that Minnesota, California, Illinois, and New York were taking that. The interesting thing is the biggest fraud trial in the country is taking place in Mississippi today with $100 million of welfare fraud. And,
we're against that too, Tim Walz. And $100 million, that's not even the tip of the iceberg from the, 18 or 19 billion with a B that the Democrats of Minnesota have committed fraud with the Somali pirates up there?
I don't believe Mississippi was on that list. So look, this is a
well, because the trial's going on, man. There's already been an investigation, and they're in trial.
Concerted effort to try and destroy the president's opponents, to destroy the rule of law, and it became apparent to me that he was going to do that with me being there, and I just feel, along with my family, that it's the best decision for Minnesota, and I feel very confident in that. I think it's going to be clear that Minnesotans agree with that.
Yeah, him not running, and electing the great Mike Lindell as governor. And you see both of them, Tim Walz and former captain Mark Kelly. You're seeing two men that are freaking the freak out. There's just there's no other way to look at it. Tim Walz is looking worse than Kelly, but Kelly looks scared too. And then CNN had one of the biggest weirdos I've ever seen in politics, the weirdo mayor of Minneapolis, and he's talking about the 2,000 plus federal agent surge into Minneapolis, his city.
Let's just start with what they are calling in the Trump administration the largest immigration operation ever. 2,000 federal agents deployed to your city. Secretary Noem there today. Do you know what they're doing, what those agents are doing? Is there any coordination, or even are they telling you anything?
I don't think the agents know what the agents are doing. This is not about solving crime. This is not about preventing fraud. This is about sowing chaos on the streets of Minneapolis, and that's what they are intent on doing right now.
This guy's as guilty as the day is long too, because of his reaction. If you're the chief executive of a city or a company, and there's been major theft, and people are coming in to find the thieves. You're like, I can't wait for them to get here because these people have been stealing money that could be helping people in need. But both Tim Walz and this weirdo mayor of Minneapolis, they're, I don't know what they're doing here. They're harassing. We're not cooperating. And he's not so far gone as Tim Walz or Kelly, but it's beginning because this is the first time I've seen him on television where he hasn't had hair products in his hair. His hair's dry for the first time. He didn't take the time to do his hair, the mayor of Minneapolis.
If the goal was to stop crime, we have mechanisms to do so. We've worked in the past substantially with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and by the way, driven down crime substantially. Crime is down across the board in virtually every neighborhood in the city, whether it's homicides, assaults, carjackings, car thefts, they're all down. And if the Trump administration was looking to, work on crime, we would be supportive of that. But that's not what they're doing. What they are doing is an intent to terrorize people in our city and specifically target our immigrant neighbors. And we're
the Somali pirates of Minneapolis he's talking about.
Standing rock solid with them. What the Trump administration is doing here is they are playing race games. They are explicitly racist in a number of occasions here, and that's what they're trying to do on our streets.
Wow. Not once is he calling to bring the fraudsters to justice, which means he probably has his hand in the cookie jar too, based on his actions. And if you see the video of him, first time I've seen him with no hair products in his hair. So that if he didn't take the time to do his hair, this is a kind, real men don't do their hair. This guy, he does his hair. If he didn't take the time to do his hair, he's worried too. So the mayor of Minneapolis, Tim Walz, and former captain Mark Kelly, all three of them in a panic. If you're on hold, stand by. Listen, let 2026 be the year that you keep your New Year's resolution to lose that weight. And with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, you can do it. I lost over 35 pounds without any medications, without any shots, without any prescriptions, without starving myself, without exercising, and eating foods I would normally eat. It works, and I've kept the weight off. I haven't gained back a single ounce. Give them a call. They can help you lose weight no matter where you're located. It works, people. Now, make sure you mention me when you call so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. No pills, no injections, no surgery, no workouts. And the best part is, I'm not even hungry. That's right. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Call us on hold, stand by. Back right after this.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Discover a city that has captivated the world for centuries in the breathtaking photo travel experience from photographer and author Andrei Vlasov. Istanbul, a city of the world's desire. Available on Amazon. You're invited to see Istanbul as you've never seen it before through hundreds of unfiltered, high-resolution images. This stunning 344-page book captures the soul of the city, from its energy and timeless beauty to its history. There's very little text, next because the photographs do the talking, revealing Istanbul's architecture and the mystery in vivid detail. Whether you've explored Istanbul in person, dream of visiting someday, or simply appreciate powerful travel photography, this book is a visual journey you'll return to again and again. Perfect for travel lovers, photography enthusiasts, and anyone drawn to the magic of Turkey. Istanbul, a city of the world's desire. From photographer and author Andrei Vlasov. Order your copy today on Amazon and Kindle, hardcover, and free with Kindle Unlimited.
All right, we'll be back in just over a minute. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls when we get back. So much is happening. Holy smokes. Oh, man. Very exciting. Very exciting. MAGA does rule. That is true. Less than a minute. We'll be back. Stand by. A little more than 30 seconds. If you want to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. I'm going to go right to the phones when we get back. Whoops. What did I drop? Something big. All right. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Something just fell that was mighty big. I don't know what it was. It wasn't a computer. That's a good thing. All right. Welcome back. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go right to the phones. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen. What's up?
I'm just thinking about Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and the mayor there in Minneapolis. And I'm thinking, the fact that he is resigning, some people say, oh, that's good enough. He's paid the price for whatever he may have done. I say go after all three of those guys, along with Elon and Omar. I mean, these people have to be held accountable. For him to resign and just walk away.
Well, he didn't resign. He's still governor. He just dropped out of the the governor's race.
I thought he was going to drop out of that.
Now he dropped out. He dropped out of the governor's.
Resigning, no.
He dropped out of the governor's race, but he's still the governor.
Right. Well, I know that they were talking about him resigning, but.
People are talking about it. He's staying in there probably so he thinks he can kind of keep a little bit of control over the situation.
Right.
And see what's going on. Just like when when Governor DeSantis removed Sheriff Israel, who was the sheriff of Broward County. He knew it was coming, but he stayed in there because he thought he could control the narrative and see what was going on. They can't. No, they don't give up that power too easily.
Right. Anyways, to me, it's never enough just for them to resign or drop out in shame or whatever, and
this is the largest financial scandal in history. I think it's up to $19 billion. Dropping out of the governor's race doesn't absolve you of the crime.
Exactly. So they need to be held accountable, whether it be prison or whatever. But they can't. They need to get rid of these people.
Well, like I was saying at the beginning,
of course, through a trial.
As I was saying in the last segment, Tim Walz has aged 15 years in the last week or two, and he's lost a lot of weight. He's not sleeping, and the little bit of hair he has was disheveled. His suits are falling off his body. He is freaking. He's not sleeping, and he's scared because he knows.
Yeah, and I don't feel sorry for him for 1 minute.
No. I'm surprised.
Any of those people.
I'm expecting him to go to China. They need to take his passport.
Oh, really?
They need to take his passport. Not that China would require it if he comes back home. If he comes in from the cold.
Oh, yeah. Anyways,
All right,
and
Joellen.
Mark.
Oh, Mark Kelly.
He looks. You know what he looks like? He looks like a Martian to me. He looks like a Martian.
Yeah, an ugly one.
You know those shows they used to have. That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah, a little like an ugly Mr. Clean too.
They need to get rid of him too.
He's another one. If you that clip I played of him, Mr. War Hero here, combat pilot, he was terrified. I wonder if he was that scared when he was flying his jet in combat. I mean, he was shaking. His hands were shaking as he was holding the paper.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I did see the interview, and yeah. So.
All right, Joellen. Appreciate the call. Take care. All right, you make some good points. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Mike. So I just wanted to, I realize a lot of the platforms are kind of off subject right now. Even here, I see you guys are talking about Greenland.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what people really want to talk about is the unknown, right? We don't care about Greenland and Trump being a bully and taking people's country. What is going on with these Epstein files?
You say taking people's country. Whose country have we taken?
Well, I've done my research. There's a lot of history between Denmark and that's Denmark's country. They have the rights. They've been through this process.
No.
That's how we got the. That's how we got the Virgin Islands.
Greenland is a colony of Denmark, and there are native people in Greenland who are the same people that are native Alaskan, Inuit Indians. The Inuits, they formerly known as Eskimos, that's who the natives of Greenland are, and the colonists of Denmark have been stealing the natural resources for centuries from Greenland, exploiting and ripping these people off.
And who's going to come and save us? Because America is
Donald Trump.
The citizens is being
Donald Trump.
He's ripping us off. He's ripping us off.
How has Trump ripped you off? How have you been ripped off by President Trump?
Because I am not an elite Caucasian man, so I do not benefit from any plans that he has.
Really? So you don't benefit from any plans. So slow down. You said as a black man you don't benefit from anything. How do I, as a white man, what benefits do I get that you don't have access to because I'm white and you're black? What do I have access to that you don't? 2026 America. I have
loans, line just depending on where you live, depending on what
you can't
get.
You can't get a loan. What do you can't get a loan? What do you have bad credit?
No.
Do you have collateral?
Outline. Now you don't want to educate your
Wait a minute. So excuse me. You have applied for a loan and you were denied because you're black?
Well, you can say that.
I could say that. Okay. Well, that's what you said. So when you called, excuse me. No. So I'm sure you want to talk. So when you were denied, I'm sure you do. But no, on your show you can talk about that. When you were denied a loan, excuse me. When you were denied, when you were denied a loan for being black, when you went to the civil rights lawyer. What did the civil rights lawyer tell you? And when did you go to court to get settled, a big settlement in this racial discrimination case, since you were denied a loan because you're black? Tell me about that.
First of all, let's start from the beginning. For you to take lightly another man saying to you what his struggles is, that you have no ability to understand. You have no ability.
You said that you were denied a loan because you're black.
Hold on. The loan is like a ant, like a penny compared to $1. As a black man, you do not know the struggle, so do not be on this phone acting like this.
Okay, tell me the struggle that you have as a black man in America that I don't because I'm white in America.
Number one, you don't have to be worried about ICE picking you up because you're misidentified because of the color of your skin.
Well, what I'm hearing with you, why would ICE pick you up?
Okay, I'm going to say this again. Misidentification because of the
color of my skin. So you've been picked up by ICE illegally? False arrest?
No, my cousin was. And
Your
he's all
cousin
the way
was.
pro.
No, we're talking about you. You say that I have privilege, you don't. And you bring up these examples, and then you can't bring them up. So have you been detained by ICE? Have you been arrested?
Because I wasn't picked up by ICE specifically.
Well, that's the example you gave. I asked you to give an example of something that has happened to you that doesn't happen to me because I'm white and you're black, and you can't come up with anything.
Oh, so even so, in my lifetime, I've also gotten arrested for a crime that I have not been committed, and I don't have the legacy of being white.
What were you arrested for? What were you arrested for?
Assault.
What happened?
And guess what? I was only there. I didn't even. I mean.
Oh, you were there. So you were at the scene of the crime, and you got arrested. Were you convicted?
No.
Well, so the justice system worked, right? If you were arrested for a crime you didn't commit and were found guilty and sent to jail and you didn't do a crime, then you'd have a broken system. The system worked. You weren't convicted.
You're right. So there is no scenario where a man was arrested.
No, you said that you were arrested for a crime you didn't commit. You were acquitted, so the system works. So what are you griping about?
But you're saying the system works based on what? Just me?
Let me
So
tell
you
you.
have-
Let me
you
tell
have
you something.
examples
You
in
are
your-
a mental patient. You hallucinate.
Right now you have a man that molested
Excuse
kids
me.
who's
No.
president. The
I
system
have a
does not
man
work.
on the line who hallucinates things that never happened.
Trump is best friends with a child molester.
No,
That
he's
happened.
not. He's not. Hey,
He
listen,
got
I would
half
thank you
of-
for the call, but if I did, I'd be lying. First, he said, think about this. He's telling me that as a black man, he said this, right, at the beginning of the call, that he doesn't have access to things that white people do. He said, I said, give me an example. He said loans. I said, were you denied a loan for being black? He said, yes. And then I asked him some details, and all of a sudden that didn't happen. Then and then he tells me he was arrested for assault, a crime that he didn't commit. Well, were you convicted? No. Well, then that's how the system works. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you got to do is give them a call, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. A free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. You heard me right. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access so you can check in from any time no matter where you are. Give them a call right now, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. All right, stand by, guys. Starting to buy. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right. We will be back shortly. All right, don't go anywhere.
You know that frustration. You're doing everything right, working harder, spending more time on your marketing. You're hiring good people too, and still you're stuck. What if the real problem isn't what you think it is? Did you know that most high achievers are stuck because they're solving the wrong problem? You can get unstuck. You just need the right help and guidance. And that's what you will find on Beyond Blind Blaming, the podcast hosted by Kevin D. St. Clergy. Kevin learned early that when you can't see the real issue, even your best efforts, they'll fail. Now he helps entrepreneurs, leaders, and high achievers uncover the hidden blind spots that are holding them back. Each episode of Beyond Blind Blaming breaks down real business and leadership challenges, profit issues, team problems, scaling struggles, and reveals what's actually getting in the way. On Beyond Blind Blaming, there's no hype, no blame, just actionable clarity. If you're ready to stop solving the wrong problems and start leading with purpose, add Beyond Blind Blaming with host Kevin D. St. Clergy to your podcast playlist right now on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and stop feeling stuck.
All right, we're going to be back in about 30 seconds or so. That last call was really sad. Really sad. Oh, man. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Before I get back to the stories, that last caller, really a sad guy, wasn't he? You know, he goes around thinking he's a victim of racism and that he hallucinates that he's the victim of all these racial crimes and injustices. And I am probably this happens a lot with guys like that when they call the show. I'm probably the first white conservative guy that he's ever talked to about it. So he's never been asked about it, really asked about it. And he says, you know, as a black man, I don't have access to all these things that Trump's doing for the country like you do. I say, give me an example. He says, well, loans. And I said, oh, you were denied a loan? Yes. Well, when you were denied a loan for being black and you went to the civil rights lawyer at the Cochran Law Firm, oh, that didn't happen. And then, oh, well, you know, I got arrested for assault. I didn't do it. Were you acquitted? Were you convicted? No, I was acquitted. Well, then the system worked. Holy smokes, you know? And then he starts saying these things because he's like, everything he was saying to get hung up on was like, la, 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 I don't want to hear this, too much reality. Don't bring me into reality. Please hang up on me. Boy, oh boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Robert from Tampa. I just want to speak on the guy that just spoke with you, the African-American guy.
Mm-hmm.
I might say something that many people don't like. As you can tell, I have an accent.
Yeah, hold on one second while I answer all these calls coming in. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, Tampa. Yes, you have an accent. A Tampa accent.
Yes. So, yeah. So, you know, I'm a regular caller. I've been in this country for about 36 years now. And I realized that I'm black, by the way. I'm black. So, not all, but most black just have this hate in them for Caucasian,
yes.
White people.
Yes.
And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it because they grew up with it.
Yeah.
When I came to this country, they even hate me as an African because why? Because we work. And then back in the days, they say, oh, yeah, you know, we come here to take their job and all these things. But you see, you find us in doctors, but they're jealous. They're jealous, and they're jealous of the white people. They will never get out of the cloud. They are in the cloud. Many of them are in the cloud, okay? So until you get out of that plantation, you will realize that, oh, wow, it is not white man. It is not anybody but me. I have to do things with my own hand and succeed with my own hand. So that guy right there, he's a hateful guy. There's nothing you can wash off that hate. And then, one more thing. Even Elon Musk said it. Don't give up. Anybody who calls you a racist, you push back on them. You push back.
That's right.
Or else you will lose your country, sir. You will lose your country.
That's right.
We come here because this country is the best country in the world. There's nothing you could do about it, because when we lose this country, there's nothing else. And by the way, when Trump leaves the position, I hate to say it, you know, then the end of days start to creep in, because there's nothing like him. Nothing. Thank you very much, bro.
All right, appreciate the call from Tampa, Florida. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Jessica. Good morning.
Hey, Jessica, what's up?
Well, you know I'm Cuban, and I know that there are other callers that have said, oh, well, you like her because she has an accent. No, you like, the last time that happened, the last time I called you. You don't like me because I have an accent. You like me because we agree politically about the same thing. And what is that? Well, we support liberty, freedom, conservatism, you know, the right to pursue your happiness, to work hard, and to obtain everything that you want in life, and that this country gives you that opportunity. And that was my answer to that caller that called you and said, well, you know, you like her because she's Cuban, but she has an accent. No, it has nothing to do with an accent. It has to do with the ideology and what you support.
That's correct.
My neighbor is Venezuelan.
Yeah.
My neighbor is Venezuelan, and she is crying of happiness. I am Cuban. I'm crying of happiness of what happened in Venezuela this past weekend. These people have been kidnapped by Maduro for the last 26 years.
Did you see that? Did you see in this operation on Saturday, 37 Cubans were killed fighting our Delta Force?
Yes.
Let me ask you this, because I want to ask you a question, because you're the first Cuban I've got today on the line. You know, we hear Venezuelans are all ready to go back to Venezuela en masse. We hear them all the time, but they're kind of they're new enough in America where they still have a strong connection. I think most Cuban Americans have been so Americanized. When Cuba falls, and it could fall any time now with the oil cutoff, I don't think we're going to see the Cubans of Miami go back to Cuba. I think most of you are going to stay here. I don't think it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. It is different with Cubans, because Cubans have been kidnapped for the past 60 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an entire generation.
A couple of generations.
Grew up, was born with Castro. So my family, we don't have any family in Cuba, like everybody's here. But I know other Cubans that do have family in Cuba that they will probably go back because they still have family there.
Or they'll go visit. They'll go visit, but they'll come back. They'll go visit, but then they'll come back. They're not going to move. I don't think they're going to move to Cuba.
Right. No, not move to Cuba, but probably they'll go visit, and they'll probably be part of the development, maybe open business. You know, Cubans love to open coffee shops and businesses and bakeries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe things like that would happen. But going back to Venezuela, I mean, Venezuela, I feel bad for them. You know why? Because this is the first time that someone did something for them, and they're celebrating.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are people that have been so abused. You're right.
We have, because we have all these liberal people saying, well, you know, they're going to kidnap their oil. Well, you know, so be it. You know, so be it that the U.S. will take over the oil. I mean, at least it's going to be Trump. Trump is an honest guy. You know, he tells it like it is. He tells you in your face, I'm like, I don't need money. I'm already a billionaire.
Yeah.
I don't need Venezuela's money.
Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. Take care. You made some good points. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adam from New York.
Hey, what's up, New York?
Hey, Brian. I was just at my local Starbucks. There were some beautiful women in there.
Okay. What's your name?
Adam from New York.
Okay. So why?
I was calling about that Austrian leader you played a video on.
Yes.
He threatened the United States, and he should be Trump's next target.
You mean he should be picked up? He should be picked up for threatening the United States. He's threatening an attack. Not only is he threatening an attack on the United States, he's threatening to invade the United States.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you make a good point. Now, why did you feel the need to tell me that you saw good-looking women in Starbucks? That was kind of weird.
Because you're always doing videos on getting coffee at Starbucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I do get coffee at Starbucks.
Just made a joke.
Oh, okay. All right. It was just a little out of left field. I didn't know exactly what that was all about.
I wasn't trying to be smart or nothing, but
No, it just sounded a little creepy. But that's okay.
I don't usually get coffee at Starbucks. But
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call.
Have a good morning.
All right. Take care. Take care. Yeah, let me this is the I played this earlier. This is the I guess he's the Prime Minister of Austria threatening the United States and Donald Trump over Greenland.
If you take it, we take every single base of the Americans from Aviano to Ramstein, from Romania to all the other military bases will be confiscated and you will lose it. And the whole position of American power since World War II, if you take Greenland, you have to leave. It's very simple, Mrs. Miller. This is the leverage we have. You need these bases for global power protection. You won't have it. And we can defend ourselves very well, and we will do that without the US nuclear shield, without the US troops in Europe, without the American bases. We will simply run these bases ourselves, and we run your boys home into Chicago and Ohio. And goodbye. If you go.
Oh, my goodness. So if you've ever wondered what Hitler would have sounded like if he spoke English, this is it. This guy's Austrian, the Austrian leader. He's threatening to attack the U.S. military bases, overtake Europe. Should an Austrian leader really be talking about overtaking Europe this way? And then when Austria is done pushing us out of all of our bases and pushing us out of Europe, they're going to invade the United States and push us all the way back to Ohio and Chicago. If that's not if that's not a threat against the United States, I don't know what it is. What a threat would be. That's crazy. All right, listen. If you're on hold, stand by. My name's Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show. I got a lot more to cover, which I will do when we get back. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. Call us on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll take our last break of the second hour and be back after this. Okay, stand by, guys. We'll be back shortly.
Hello?
Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey there. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
All right.
All right, stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys.
Fraud. The
Be back in about a minute. Tom, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, boy. A little more than 30 seconds, and we'll be back, guys. The show is flying by today, isn't it? Man, oh, man. All right, and it's time to check in with Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. Jamie Levac, good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Oh, boy. Well, here it is. It's everyone's favorite time of the year, tax season.
Tax season is here. The IRS is officially opened on January 5th. If you have your documents and paperwork ready, you can start the filing process. There's a lot of new things that are going on this year. Here's one big one. If you're a small business and you're paying state tax to the comptroller in the state that you live in, there's a good chance that if you're a service-based business, like maybe a plumber, electrician, mechanic, that you're overpaying on your state taxes. For example, if you have a service, let's say you're a plumber, and you bill someone for $1,000, you're paying taxes on the full $1,000, there's most likely a service that you could have in there that you don't have to pay state taxes on. So there's a lot of little things that if your current accountant isn't keeping you up to date on how to save money, he's simply just collecting documents and filing them as you tell him.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a time to take a thought and say, before I just go to the same accountant I've been going to over the years, let me maybe explore someone new, see if someone could actually save me money.
Yeah, and I know for a fact you do that because I've talked to multiple people who have come to you, and you've even looked at taxes in past years of theirs and found out that they paid too much in past years, and they're getting returns back now on past years, not even this year. And with the big, beautiful bill, the entire tax code has changed. So those of you that have never used a tax professional before, and you've been doing it on your own, well, first off, that's crazy town. You should never be doing that. This is the year. You want to call Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. I've talked to multiple people in this audience who have met with you, Jamie Levac, and they just sing your praises. There's one person I know who has a small business, and by the way, if you're an independent contractor or get a 1099, you're a small business person. But you're not just helping them with their business taxes and payroll taxes and income taxes. You're actually even helping them with the bookkeeping for their business, which is something I didn't know that you offered. And what a weight has been lifted off their shoulders.
Yes, I mean, the problem is that taxes is very complex. It's very complicated. And it involves a lot of stress. And the whole point of calling me is to stop stressing and put the stress on me. I'm the person you call when you decide, you know what, I don't want to stress about this. I want someone else to deal with this. I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea is, you have a professional that can get something done in a fashion that actually saves you money, with good customer service, and doesn't leave you in the dark. The biggest problem I hear from most people migrating from other accountants is they have no idea. They couldn't explain their taxes to me if they tried. And when you leave me, you're going to be educated, you're going to be saving money, and moving forward, you're going to know how to structure, whether it be your business or your personal finances, so you can save money in the future.
Yeah, and in fact, one person I know who came to you recently, Jamie Levac, they actually went from their old accountant that they've been unhappy with for years and came with the paperwork straight to your office. And they were really impressed with something you did that I was amazed myself. This was amazing. They had some issues. They thought they paid too much in the last couple of years. You picked up the phone while they were sitting there, and you got the IRS on the line and got the ball rolling on that. You got them on the line like that, they told me. They were very impressed with that.
It's a lot of times there's ways to save money that people don't even think about. Here's a big program out there. Some of you out there possibly owe money to the IRS. Maybe in the past you made more money, but the bill, you couldn't pay the full bill. So you maybe got onto a payment plan, or maybe you make less money now than you did back then, or maybe you had a 1 year where you made a whole bunch of money in stocks, or whatever the case may be. If today you look back at that tax bill and you have the thought of, man, I really don't think I'm ever going to be able to pay that tax bill off, there's programs out there that if you stay on track with the program for 5 years, pay your taxes, and establish yourself with the IRS as a candidate for this program, they will wipe out your full tax bill.
Holy smokes. Hear that, guys? Give Jamie Levac a call. Now, I want to tell you guys this. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax is located right here in South Florida in Broward County. But he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. So if you're in another state and you have city or state income taxes on top of federal, he can help you with that no matter where you're located, and even help those of you that are in other countries as well. Give Jamie Levac at Swift Tax a call. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. All right, Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. We'll talk later this week.
Sounds good, Brian. Have a good one.
All right, take care. Take care. Yeah, give him a call, guys. All right, so I was sharing earlier Tim Walz at his press conference yesterday. About how bad he looked. He lost weight. He's aged 15 or 20 years in the last week and a half. His hair was disheveled. His suit was falling off his body. He's not sleeping. He's not eating. He's scared to death. Why is that? Listen to this. We've got the 2,000 plus federal agents in Minneapolis investigating the Somali pirates there and the Democrat fraud machine.
Against fraud. The performance audit shows the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out the door in grants without making proper checks into who was receiving them. Wow. And that is not even the most jaw-dropping finding. Lou Raguse has tonight's top story.
Listen to this.
Lou?
Julie, according to the nonpartisan legislative auditor, this is another case of mismanagement of taxpayer money. But perhaps the most explosive revelation is that managers within DHS, the Department of Human Services, tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents.
See, Tim Walz's administration, these are people that work under him, they've been committing fraud on the documents. You go to prison for this stuff.
But I do want to talk about what a serious issue this is and how it is, frankly, unacceptable.
Another sobering report by the Office of the Legislative Auditor, this one concerning the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. The audit found them issuing grants to applicants without a bidding process.
So what we saw is that there was multiple entities that could have been eligible, and they chose not to provide a justification for why they were picking those.
This report is quite stunning.
Yeah.
One outrageous example. The auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any info on what they do. And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a couple days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
To me, that's criminal.
Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple DHS managers backdated or created new documents to try to cover their tracks.
Wow. So if you were Tim Walz, you'd be panicked too. This is amazing. And, you know, there's never been any accountability for these people before. And maybe the 2,000 federal agents should look for the examples of legitimate payments, and then they know everything else because there's so few of them. I haven't heard a single legitimate payment yet. Have you? Is there anything legit going on in Minnesota? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. You missed your chance. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, this is really one of the most fantastical things that's ever happened so far as news coverage. You know, Nick Shirley, who uncovered this, you know, he's been doing investigative reporting for quite some time. I was going through his Nick Shirley's YouTube channel a little bit yesterday, and he's been doing all kinds of big stories for the last couple of years. First time I heard of him was last year. He went to that El Salvadorian prison where they're taking all the deportees, and that's the first time I heard of him. And I'd seen a couple of his reports since then. But yesterday I went to his YouTube channel and started going through it. And he has done some really deep investigative reporting. This is not his first rodeo. And he goes and reports on some dangerous things like he's doing in Minnesota. And, you know, I'll tell you, he's a lot braver than Mark Kelly, because when he faces down these bad people, his hands aren't shaking like Mark Kelly, former Captain Mark Kelly's was during that press conference that was on CNN yesterday. You know, there's so much happening in the news. I'm going to move on to some other topics after the top of the hour. I'm going to get back to Greenland because what's happening there is so important. But the big issues, and one of the biggest issues as we move into this midterm election season, certainly during the primary phase, is this Minnesota fraud issue. By the time we get to the elections in November, it may all be settled. But we're going to be in the primary season. We really kind of are already, the primary season, and this is going to be a big, big issue, because I haven't seen a single Democrat take the right side on this issue at all. They're all in the circle the wagons mode, and that's just not gonna fly. Now, I do want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, Friendly Tire in Margate, you can get brand new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And I want to remind you, that's on common sizes on some of the most popular vehicles on the road. I don't want people to think I'm talking about like Fiat tires or golf cart tires. I'm talking about tires that fit the most common vehicles on the road, as low as $75 a tire. And when I say out the door and on the road, what that means is Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires, as low as $75 a tire. He has thousands of used tires in stock, out the door and on the road, as low as $35 a tire. He also does tire repairs. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. I'm going to get into some other stories because there's a lot to cover today. The amount of news that we have it's the fastest news period that I've ever seen in my life from the time the holiday period started till today, and who knows what we're going to have, right after we get off the air. It's amazing. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with your calls and much more. Don't go anywhere. Back after this. We'll be back in about 1 minute. If you're on hold, stand by. Less than a minute, we'll be back. You ever see Tim Pool do this with his hair? I don't think so. Oh, man. About 30 seconds. All right, we're back. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
You know, I don't know why everyone is so upset that Somalis in Minnesota are getting their due justice of money. I mean, let's face the facts. I mean, I'll give you an example. If I was a I got you on there. Let me turn you down on the other thing.
That's my favorite show. That's my favorite show you got on in the background. It's very good. What's the name of it? No, go ahead. What's on your mind?
If I was a translator, okay, did you see Nick Shirley's his last one?
Yes, I did.
When he talked. Well, if you're a translator, you get $100 an hour. Automatic, even if it only takes 10 minutes to take somebody to the doctor who's been here 20 years and says they can't speak English.
Yeah, and you don't even have to translate or take them to the doctor. You still get paid, apparently.
Yeah, you get paid. And if they get pregnant, and by the way, one Somali male has 4 wives, not legally, but he impregnates 4 at a time. So they're opening up mosques all over the place.
Well, listen. This is the Somali pirates of Minneapolis certainly are doing a lot of crime. But Tim Walz, who's aged 15 to 20 years in a week and a half, lost a ton of weight because he's not sleeping or eating. You know, he's obviously at the top of the crime ring to be so freaked out.
I was getting to that. The point of the matter is that this is how low the Democratic Party, and I'm saying that Democratic Party because they control Minnesota because they get the Somali vote. And it shows me that they will sell their mother, their father, and their grandparents just to get elected. Like that mayor who speaks Somali and goes with them and eats their food and dances on their food,
dances with them and all kinds. He's weird.
And gags on their dinners. I mean, listen, this whole thing is a total disaster. And I'm going to say another thing. You brought up earlier in your show. You were talking about Venezuela and Greenland. This is the first time in my lifetime, and I'm not a kid, that the United States, a superpower, is actually exercising the fact that they're a superpower.
Exactly.
I mean, we never hear anything about China going in and taking over this, or the Soviet Union when they just took over all of Eastern Europe.
We did nothing.
And they put those people.
We did nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so the bottom line is, this is the first president. I'm sure that, and I'm a Vietnam veteran, I'm sure that if President Trump at the time was the president of the United States, Vietnam would have either never happened or it would have been over fast. You know why? Everyone doesn't realize this. We never went into North Vietnam. You know why? Because we were afraid of China.
That's right.
Because once again, the paper tiger.
Same thing happened. Same thing happened in Korea. All right, Richie, I'm gonna move on, but you make some good points. I started the show on Greenland at 6, and I want to talk about it just for a moment here. Then I'm going to get some other things I want to get to. But this is what has happened in the last 24 hours. The question of whether or not Greenland is going to become a part of the United States is over. It's already been decided. Donald Trump has decided that Greenland is going to become a part of the United States. It's already decided. The only questions now are when and how. That's it. It's already been decided. In fact, it's being widely reported by multiple major news outlets, including CNBC and others, that White House sources have told them that the White House is considering a military option to take Greenland. But what that means, I don't know. It could just mean, we already have a base there. J.D. Vance visited. But I believe that the president has already, through people and maybe even personally, talked to leaders inside Greenland. Because if you remember last year when Greenland was first being talked about, Don Jr. took Trump Force One and took a delegation to Greenland for a day. Remember that? And also on election night at Mar-a-Lago at the president's private election night party, he had, I saw this reported, they said that the most popular internet influencer from Greenland was at the party. I think it's already been decided, and it has to be done for security reasons. Little tiny Denmark, they're not cutting it. And Russia and China are camped out all in and around Greenland. And the distance between Europe and North America is so small when you get that far north on the globe that Russia and China can hit us with anything they want to hit us with, including nuclear weapons. They could launch fighter jets or even helicopters in some instances and attack American interest from the sea in and around Greenland. They got to be kicked out. It's a major security risk. And you know what? NATO and Europe can't do anything about it, and it's the right thing to do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Joan in Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
You know that guy from Austria? He's trying to be a big shot.
Yeah.
But listen, there are absolutely no U.S. military bases in Austria.
Yeah, but he was talking about our bases in Germany. So I guess we got another Austrian who's talking about reunification of Germany and Austria, just like Hitler did.
Well, the U.S. bases in Germany, the big one, Randstad, where they have the medical facility and all, people assigned to the bases in Germany, a lot of them live off base. I mean, they really pump up the economy. Germany's not going to.
Well, let me tell you something. If they kicked out the American service personnel, which, by the way, we're not going to let another Austrian tell us that he's taking over Europe, and then he says he's going to invade the United States and push us back to Ohio and Chicago. What the heck? I mean, he's talking about invading the United States,
He's delusional. He's delusional.
Well,
and
so was Chancellor Hitler.
They're not going to want to lose that money. It really pumps up their economy.
Could you imagine if President Trump all of a sudden said tourism, no more tourists to Europe? Not only could Europe not survive without the U.S. Military presence because they'd be overrun by Russia, and what you said about the economy from the bases. Europe is nothing more than a tourist trap for American tourists, and without Americans going over there as tourists and our military bases, the country would collapse. Every country in Europe would collapse.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly.
All right, Joan, take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mike from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Nick. What's up?
I just think that there's about a 0% chance that Congress authorizes anything to go into Greenland. We already have military bases there.
No, we don't. We have one base. We have one tiny little base. One tiny little base with just a few people in it. And so far as Congress, yesterday the president addressed the Republican conference at their retreat yesterday. He was talking about all this stuff, and they were applauding him. So no, Congress is MAGA. We've got a MAGA Congress, and they're with the president on all of this.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Well,
I just don't see us taking aggression against a sovereign nation.
Who said
over.
Who said aggression?
Well, what do you think invasion and taking over their country is?
Who said invasion? When Don Jr. went to Greenland early last year, all I saw were people with MAGA hats on. The natives of Greenland that I've heard want to be a part of the United States.
Okay, then have them vote on it.
Well, maybe that's the way it'll go.
Yeah. I doubt that's going to happen that way. I just do.
Well, what do you think's going to happen? You think Denmark? You think Denmark? You think President Trump's going to let Denmark whoop us?
I don't think this is going to be a conflict at all, to be honest with you.
Why? What do you see happening?
I think if we were smart, we would expand the military base. But, outside of that, I don't think there's a whole lot of interest of ours to take over anything.
Oh, sure. Greenland is bigger than Alaska, a lot bigger than Alaska. It would be the largest land acquisition in the history of the United States, a land acquisition larger than the Louisiana Purchase. And President Trump would like to have the historical honor of doing that. Would we be the biggest country in the world land-wise if we had Greenland? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the second or the first. I don't know. But no, see, this is the deal. President Trump's already decided. Greenland is going to become a part of the United States. It's just a matter of how and when.
I think the Greenlanders have to have a say in that. That's what I'm saying. And outside of that, that makes us, an oppressor rather than anything else.
I haven't heard anyone. I've heard a bunch of Europeans griping about it, but I haven't heard any Greenlanders gripe about it. In fact, the people of Greenland that I've heard are excited to become a part of the greatest country on earth.
I think you need to go on YouTube and listen to a few more Greenlanders.
I need to go on YouTube.
Because honestly, they don't sound too enthusiastic about it.
Oh, really?
And they don't seem like they're liking what Trump is saying. It seems aggressive, and that's not in their nature.
Yeah. What do you think about the liberation of Venezuela?
I think that's awesome.
Well,
I think the people there love it.
Well, the reason that we took Venezuela is the same reason we're going to take Greenland, to kick Russia and China out of the area.
In Greenland.
China and Russia are operating around Greenland with weapons that can reach the United States.
Not in Greenland. They're perhaps in international waters.
No, they're in. They very well. They've been. It's been reported that they've been in Greenland waters.
Oh. Then we should be taking military action of our own based on that.
Oh, we should go to war with China, a nuclear power. Oh man, I'm glad you're not running anything. Take care. All right, I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. It's really amazing with annuities. Your money's never at risk, no matter what happens with the stock market. The stock market could go into a Great Depression tomorrow. Your money's safe, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. With Jupiter Joe Thomas, who offers no-charge consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. If you're local, you can do it over the phone and on Zoom, or in his office if you're local. But no matter where you're located, you can take advantage of that no-charge consultation over the phone or through Zoom. With Jupiter Joe Thomas, there's no consultation cost. And guess what? The commissions are not paid by you. They're paid by the annuity company. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation today. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed that number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and you will find it there. Stop risking your retirement. This is a no-risk retirement plan. 561-743-0999. Set up that no-charge consultation and let Jupiter Joe tell you how he can turn your money into guaranteed income for life. jupiterjoe.com. Back after this. Stand by, guys. We'll be back shortly. Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Brian, good morning.
Hey there. We have about 40 seconds, so I'm just going to keep you on here, and we'll be back.
Okay. Perfect.
Stand by. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Brian, good morning. How are you today?
Good. So how's the year starting off with estate planning?
Well, yeah, people are coming in to take care of their New Year's resolutions right away and getting it taken care of so they don't have to worry about it throughout the year. So, yeah, we're getting people who want to get it taken care of right away.
Yeah.
And those who are listening can do so, too. A great first step would be to attend our upcoming workshop, our Living Trust workshop that's going to be on Friday at 10 a.m. at our Boca Raton office. And even though we call it a Living Trust workshop, it is going to cover a lot of other things that are not necessarily about the living trust, about some of the other important legal documents that are part of your overall estate planning, and about what you need to do to protect your assets from the cost of long-term care. One of the things that we cover in quite a bit of detail is the power of attorney, a very important document that everyone should have in their estate planning portfolio. Even if you're not wealthy, you want to make sure that you have the right people making decisions for you, decisions that may be financial decisions, legal decisions, or business decisions, if you're not able to do so yourself. And there are other benefits of having the right power of attorney with the right language in it, because just like all living trusts are not the same, all powers of attorney are not the same. So we're going to go into that during the workshop as well. So, and the alternative, by the way, if you don't have a power of attorney and something happens where you're not able to make your own decisions, you may be incapacitated, and your loved ones cannot step in because you don't have the power of attorney, they may end up having to go to court and deal with the guardianship process, spend a ton of money, have a judge make decisions, have their family go through the whole process of dealing with courts and lawyers and everything. So it's very easy to just tell the attorney what it is you want, who should be in place, have them sign the paperwork, and you're done. And that avoids all of that trouble.
Yeah, and you know, one of our listeners who actually is on one of the commercials that we're airing recorded for you, Attorney Barry Siegel, one of your clients, she was very impressed, and I wanted to add something to this, but she was very impressed that you put everything together with her trust in a book that was easy to understand for even laymen, so that when they pass, their family will be able to easily look at it and see who gets what and how it works.
Yeah, everything is in a organized binder, and has an owner's manual that has a lot of other things in it that are going to make life easier for your successor trustees or your personal representatives. Things such as what assets are titled in the trust, you're able to list those, so it makes their life a lot easier.
Yeah.
You're able to list friends and family and how to reach them, key advisors and how to reach them, where you kept important paperwork.
Oh, that's important.
All of those things, memorial instructions. There's a lot of things in there besides just the estate planning documents, and it's all designed to make the process easier. In fact, on the very first page, when you open up the binder, there's a checklist of actions upon incapacity or death that will tell the trustee or personal representative exactly what they need to do, because most people name typically their kids or nephew or niece or someone like that, and how much experience do we think these people have acting as a trustee or personal representative?
Exactly.
Usually zero. And so we give them the guidance they need and also give them the free post-death consultation. So when that time comes, they'll be able to call us and get all the information they need and and know that they're on the right track.
Well, listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call, schedule your no-charge in-office consultation, and ask about those upcoming workshops too, guys. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. That's SIEGEL, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care. All right, we are back, and if you're on hold, stand by. We've covered quite a bit today, and it was talking about this obvious depression of Tim Walz. Did you guys catch Kristi Noem on Jesse Waters last night? Listen to this. Kristi Noem with Jesse Waters last night on Fox.
The governor of California says, bring it on.
Oh, we'll be there. We think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. So Minnesota is unbelievable what we've seen, but it is leading us to networks all over the country and overseas, and we're going to follow every single one of them. Homeland Security Investigations is an incredible team of individuals who go after human traffickers, sex traffickers, but the fraud that we have in our public programs that are tied to California, absolutely. We're going to come to you, Governor Newsom, and we're going to arrest every single individual that has ties to this kind of stealing of taxpayer dollars, and we will hold them accountable.
Yeah, and by the way, that would include Governor Newsom himself. Oh, man. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Mikey. I'm calling from Georgia.
Okay, Mikey in Georgia.
The governor of California says, bring it on.
Everything, all of this, Greenland, Venezuela, it's all about national security and the threats against Russia and China. But realistically, China has the DS-17 hypersonic glide vehicle. Realistically, doesn't matter where they fucking shoot that from.
Okay, there we go. Oh, boy, I tell you. You know, have you know? I know, Mike, it's one of those days. So far, I'll just respond to what he said, even though I had to end the call. These super weapons that China has, where are they? Other than liberal fantasies, okay, and popular mechanics. Remember, I was telling you guys yesterday, some of the information has already been declassified out of the raid in Venezuela. We took down the most advanced Chinese radar system that they had in place there. The Chinese weapons are nowhere near the capability of ours. So I shared a clip earlier of former Captain Mark Kelly, and he was just in a panic attack and using profanities and everything against Pete Hegseth. And then former Captain Kelly went on CNN, or not CNN, MS Now yesterday on the Rachel Maddow program.
Donald Trump didn't like what I said, and he was so, struck by it. And in some ways, maybe I, hurt his ego in a way that, he now is starting to understand that, members of the military don't have blind loyalty to him. He should know this. He's the commander-in-chief. He's been president before. The loyalty is to the Constitution, not to a person. And, he didn't like that. And, he did what he normally does, which is opens his mouth before he thinks and then doubles down on it. And these are dangerous words, because if he can get me to shut up, I'm a U.S. Senator. I was an astronaut. I spent, 4 trips
Does he ever talk that he doesn't tell you that he was an astronaut? And does he ever not tell you that? Every time he opens up his mouth, it's a part of every paragraph.
Space, I flew 39 combat missions. If he's successful in getting me to not speak out against him or the government or Pete Hegseth or whoever and not do my job, what does that say to all these other retired and ex-service members? What rights do they have anymore?
No one has a right to cause an insurrection inside the military against the military authority and the civilian authority, the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. You don't have the freedom to start an insurrection, which is what he was doing with the seditious six.
And this extends even beyond that. I think if they're successful,
and with all of their candlelight vigils for January 6th, here you got former Captain Kelly with the other members of Congress who are trying to cause an insurrection.
And by the way, Rachel, they're not going to be successful in ever shutting me up. That doesn't, I mean, I could.
Really?
They could go as far as they possibly can go with that. That's not going to happen. But
Really? So when look at all this insubordination. He's being recalled to active duty.
They can, punish me in a significant way. That's going to silence other critics of the government. And that is a foundational problem for our constitutional democracy.
Yeah, boy, whenever you hear Democrats praising our Constitution, you know they're ripping it up and burning it, like Nancy Pelosi with the State of the Union that one year. This guy, he's being recalled to active duty, and when you're in the service, you do not have freedom of speech. When you're in the service, you don't have the same constitutional civil liberties that civilians have, and we're seeing nothing but Kelly, but nonstop and repeated insubordination. Let me pull up this other one. Yesterday, when he was on CNN, he just totally lost it. Let me pull this up. And Mr. Astronaut and fighter pilot, combat fighter pilot and all this, he is absolutely terrified. I got to find the right cut because I've got one cut that is safe for radio and one cut that's not. And I don't want to play the one that's not safe for radio. I'll have to find it during the break. Listen, we're going to... what time is it? Oh, I'm losing track of all the time. Hold on a second here, guys. Hold on a second. Oh, let me talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You guys know my story. I lost over 35 pounds with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And it was about this time last year that I went and met with them for the first time. I lost 25 pounds in less than a month. I lost about a pound a day. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no pills, no injections, no surgery, no intense workout, and you'll never feel hungry either. Someone, a listener the other day had sent me a DM asking me, now that I'm in the maintain phase, do I still have to take the pills or the injections? And I wrote him back. I said, there's no pills, there's no injections. Okay? With those pills and injections, I hear terrible stories. People have to take them for the rest of their life. You don't take anything like that at any stage with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter where you are located in the world. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300 and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Make this the year that you keep that New Year's resolution to lose that weight. We'll be right back. On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
Well, I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and bingo, and the next day I had a meeting with him. And the next day, I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he's done straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
All right, so listen, guys, give Jamie Levac a call, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Oh, man. Okay, I found the clip of Kelly. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. There's not enough appreciation for what Trump's doing. there's such a global reset going on, not just with international affairs, but this swamp draining that's going on, right? The Somali pirates and the Democrats in Minnesota. Kristi Noem going after New Scum and the corruption out there, right? Kelly, Tim Walz. This is all draining the swamp. We're finally getting the swamp drained in ways that everyone thought was impossible before. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Craig Whelan, and
yeah, okay. So I found the clip that I wanted to share from former Captain Kelly. Listen to this.
They talk about how this is a law enforcement operation, but if in fact 150 airplanes were used from multiple services, it feels less to me law enforcement and more like a military operation. Let me make it perfectly clear. This letter or anything that Pete Hegseth says or does to me is in no way going to affect the way I do my job and represent my constituents in the United States Senate.
This is the video of Kelly, and I'll tell you, this was yesterday. I'm going to play the whole thing because he really loses it. He's surrounded by reporters. He's holding the letter that he got from the War Department, from the Navy Department, from Pete Hegseth about what's about to happen to him. You can see it in his body language. His hands are shaking with the paper. He's holding on to this paper with both hands in front of him. And I've seen this tactic used by people that have stage fright and stuff. He's holding on to both sides of the paper to try to stop his hands from shaking. He's really scared. And like Tim Walz, not only does he seem nervous, he's lost some weight too.
Or does, to me, is in no way going to affect the way I do my job and represent my constituents in the United States Senate. Ain't happening. So, his option, right now is he can continue with this kind of bull, or he can go take a hike. That's his options. And if I have an opportunity to, tell him that tomorrow, maybe I will.
Well, he just told to take a hike. He's just being recalled to active duty. I've never seen such a level of insubordination against a Secretary of War or Defense in my life. We may see more charges coming. But the main thing is about Kelly, he looks scared to death. And I've seen many people in my time that are in a panic attack. And you can tell if you see people sometimes when they're stopped by the police, they get really nervous and everything else. And what you're seeing with him is a guy that is panicked at a degree that you can't even measure. And see, in the past, this swamp draining that's going on. In the past, what's happened a lot of times with these people, they figure, well, the next administration will be in, they'll take care of us. That's not happening this time. The Republicans have been turned into a MAGA party, but the Democrats are hopeless. Listen to CNN talking about Democrat popularity.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%.
Okay, let me start that over again because I forgot to unmute it. Okay, this is the popularity of the Democrats right now.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
Okay, so those of you out there that, the party in power loses in the midterms. They are negative 55 overall, the Democrats. And among independents, which they tell us are the ones you've got to win over, among independents, Democrats in the latest poll on CNN are negative 61 points. How are they going to take back the House or the Senate in the midterms? How are we not winning? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
You know, Senator Kelly, if anybody should know what he's doing and what he called for an insurrection, with his background as a military fighter pilot and, being an astronaut, he knows what he did was wrong. And the thing is, he's even worse at damage control. It's like every time he gets out in front of the media now, it's like he's digging a deeper hole for himself. And he's not good at that at all. But listen, he called for an insurrection. I mean, everybody saw it, and he's vowing
to tell the war secretary to take a hike. And I'll tell you, another thing this hold on while I answer these other lines. Another thing this shows is he is definitely in a panic attack, but he's still arrogant. He has not hired an attorney.
Well, this is really amazing.
Or he'd have him by his side.
You would think so. The attorney should really be his mouthpiece right now because he's doing a terrible job of defending himself.
He shouldn't be talking.
He's defying the commander-in-chief. He's defying the Secretary of War. I mean, come on, I appreciate his background and what he's done for the country before, but he is really way out on a limb, and that limb is getting sawed off now. Mm-hmm. And he really has to be careful now because he's digging a hole. That interview with Kristi Noem.
Oh.
Kristi Noem is going to be the tip of the spear, I think, with these things because we are going to see. Right, for me, it's fascinating because this is the anniversary year for the show. We are going to see this 2026. We're going to see amazing, amazing events in real time. We're already seeing them. This
well, with Kristi Noem. I thought her political career was over when she put out that book about the puppy thing, which,
Yes, I did too.
But she's been totally reinvented here. She's amazing. And I'm so happy that notice how she's taking the lead on this investigation, not Pam Bondi.
Well, this is very interesting. I mean, she has taken the. Thank God we got someone to take the lead on this. Where
Kash Patel?
Bondi? I don't know. Really, it's been a disappointment. But she is coming on strong. I mean, she is really a leader, and she's got command of the issues. And I think I did an interview with the governor of California.
So you agree with me that Kelly looks freaked out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. He's. I'm amazed his voice isn't starting to crack yet when he's talking. I think it probably will before we're well and done. He's in big trouble. He knows it. He knows it from his background. And you know what, though?
I've met a lot of astronauts in my time, including Apollo astronauts.
Wow.
A lot of them live in Florida, and I've been in situations where I got to meet and hang out with some of them, including Apollo astronauts that went to the moon. I've never heard any of them tell you that they've been in the space. They just assume Kelly's got to tell you every conversation somewhere in that sentence is I've been to space 4 times. We know. We know.
Is this a sign? Is this the sign of the desperation that he's showing that he knows he's in trouble and what to do is wrong? And he keeps bringing this up. Okay.
This is what he's trying to do. Let me tell you what he's trying to do. There is. Yeah. He's trying. He knows he messed up. He let these deep state CIA people get him to do the Seditious 6 video. He's trying to put out his honors and his heroism and his bravery and his past service to say, hey, give me a pass. I went to space. I flew 39 combat missions. I'm a veteran who did what had to be. Right. Please forget what I did and give me a pass because of my past hero. That's what he's trying to do.
Well, where are the other fellow Democrats who were in agreement with this, and where are the other 5?
Yeah, what about that? What about that lunatic astronaut that drove across the country in a diaper? Did she get a pass because she went to space?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
There's.
Remember the Pence commercial?
Oh my goodness! Remember that? Oh my goodness!
Yeah. I tell you, Brian, we are going to have an amazing year. I'm glad it coincides with the anniversary for the show, because this show is going to be electric the whole year. We're going to see amazing events, and they're going to come very, very fast, I think.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning.
Well,
of
the
it,
thing
the
is,
beginning
if
of it,
you look at these at both Tim Walz and Mark Kelly,
Oh.
both of them, weight loss, anxiety, especially Tim Walz, but they're and he's going to get when he goes to court martial. He's going to have to show up in uniform at his reduced rank. The reduced rank is already happening. That's not the court martial. The insubordination and all of that's the court martial, the sedition.
Right.
He's going to go in at the reduced rank. And the way he's looking, he may. I hope they reduce him to ensign, the lowest enlisted rank. Could you imagine what he would be like if he to walk around with that lower? He's going to have to show up in his dress white uniform. And he's going to have that lower rank there, or he'll be impersonating a superior officer and get another charge. They're still going to throw the book at him.
We certainly don't see any. I don't see any people, current members of the military, or people who were retired from the military, taking his side.
No one. All right, I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. We got to take our break for the Gold Report. Call us on hold. Don't go anywhere. Back after this. Oh, my goodness.
Hello.
Hey there. We've got about 20 seconds, so I'm just going to keep you here. We'll start in just a second. Sorry.
Okay.
We're back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman at the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated on the first floor of the Bank of America building in Boca Raton. William Youngerman, how the metals looking this Wednesday?
Today they're giving us a buying opportunity
Awesome.
after yesterday's huge gains. We would expect some profit taking, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $4,427 on the low, all the way up to $4,499, just short of $4,500. Closing out the day on the highs at $4,494 the ounce. That was up $45.80. Silver closed up a remarkable $4.85 yesterday, up at closing at $81.19 the ounce. Silver, $81.19 the ounce.
I almost passed out, William Youngerman.
Platinum gained $162 yesterday, closing at $24.37, and palladium was up $110 at $1,811. Of course, with this kind of moves, we've got a lot of volatility in the markets, and as they say, bull markets can climb a wall of fear, and a lot of people trying to figure out where is it going from here. And gold down right now, $45.10, basically giving back what it gained yesterday at $4,449. Still a nice number, $4,449 an ounce for gold. Silver is right now at $77.28 the ounce. That's down $3.91. Platinum down $141 at $22.96, and palladium down $110 at $1,696 the ounce. So these markets can go up and they can go down, but the trend is much higher.
Silver, it's over $77. That doesn't sound down to me. You know, I got a call. I got a call from a listener yesterday, and she was calling in to thank us and you. She said, you know, by hearing you on the show, she started buying silver coins, and it's changed her life. Now she has a lot of money in silver right now, and she's very excited about this. It's life-changing stuff, and it's really amazing how an ounce here and an ounce there adds up to so much, William Youngerman.
Yep, it sure does.
Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call. His number is toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. His address in Boca Raton is 150 East Palmetto Park Road, in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. That's WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, reminding everybody that we are one of the few dealers that have everything in stock for immediate delivery.
That's right. All right, take care. You hear that, guys? Bye. Okay, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, y'all seem to think that y'all gonna have an amazing year. I don't know why y'all would possibly
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, yeah, this is Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay. How you doing?
Yeah, y'all. Why would y'all think the Republicans or y'all MAGA are going to have a fantastic year?
It's not just that MAGA is going to have a fantastic year. Greenland's going to have a fantastic year. Venezuela's going to have a fantastic year, and even the United States that you live in is going to have a fantastic year.
Do you know your president? Since he's been in office, he's turned us into Germany, where we're putting people in concentration camps.
Oh, slow down. Who has been put in? Excuse me. Who's been put in a concentration camp and where?
All the people that ICE has been collecting. Then we turned into pirates.
Concentration camps?
Stealing ships. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Then piracy. We start stealing ships. Now we're pirates too. Now we go into other people's countries and steal their president, and we're kidnappers. Kidnappers.
Do you have any comment on this? Do you have any comment on the Somali pirates of Minneapolis?
I'm talking about the ones that's making the big news.
The Somali pirates of Minneapolis have stolen $19 billion.
You believe everything that fool tells you? That's a lie.
Even Tim Walz says they're stealing. Even Tim Walz even said they're stealing.
Even if they are,
he's a liar too. Tim Walz is a liar. Everybody's a liar. Just Jay from Jersey. He sounds depressed. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mark from New York. How you doing today, Brian?
Hey, Mark. Are you in New York City or state? I forgot.
State. I'm
okay.
on the other side of the state.
I've been seeing a lot of people on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, say that the Muslim Call to Prayer has been playing in New York City. Is that true? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm on the other side of the state.
Yeah.
I'm near Buffalo.
If anybody knows, I'd like to know, confirm or not. I'd like to know if that's true or not. All right, what's on your mind?
I don't know. Hey, so the imagery of Trump sitting in a room with his sycophants and the GOP clapping about him taking over Greenland brings back imagery of what Hitler used to do. I love that you brought that up. It's a good imagery for all your audience to think about. That's exactly what Hitler used to do about taking over Europe. I'm so glad you said that.
Oh, you're talking about the Austrian leader?
Yes. You know it.
Yes.
No, Trump talking about with his GOP. Trump clapping about taking over Greenland. You said that, which is great because as a history major, you know that there's a connection, but you're not allowed to make that connection. You're part of that.
What do you mean I'm not allowed? I'm not allowed by who to do what?
You're not very smart, so you can't actually
No,
make
I'm not allowed.
else
Hold on a second. I'm not allowed to do what about what, and who's not allowing me to do this thing? I lost you.
You're not, as part of the cult, you're not allowed to make that connection that Hitler used to do the exact same thing.
What? Used to do
with
what?
his sycophants, so they
To do what?
sit in a room and clap about taking over Europe, which is Trump's doing to talk about taking over Greenland. You said that he sat in a room with his GOP and they clapped and laughed about taking over Greenland.
Oh, but you left out.
Exactly
You left
what
out
Hitler
something.
used
You
to do.
you left out. I heard that. Okay, you left out some things that I said.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's what
If
you
you
said, though.
well, it's part of what I said, and you're doing selective quoting. Okay.
You said they clapped about him taking over
Yes.
Greenland, another sovereign nation.
Yeah, but there was.
A smart leader would've said,
I'll
"Hey,
remind.
we'll
I'll
partner
remind
with
you.
them."
I'll remind you of the rest. Early last year, when the Greenland talk first happened, Don Jr. led a delegation to Greenland on Trump Force One and met with officials over there. On election night for the
They were mocked. We saw
no,
the
they
video.
weren't. I saw a lot of people wearing MAGA hats. On election night at Mar-a-Lago, the number one, it was reported, I don't know who they are, but the number one internet influencer from Greenland was with the president. I believe that the president has already made an agreement with the natives of Greenland to join the United States into some capacity.
So that they're going to feed into his ego.
No,
an ego
they're the
thing. It
native.
has
They're the
nothing to do with
native. They're the
defense.
natives. The native population.
A defense person would have said, "Hey, can we partner with you for our defense?" And they would have been like, "Yeah." No,
There's
his
only
ego is
30
he
there's
wants-
only
he doesn't
there's
want to
only
go down as the worst president.
there's only
He's gonna go
30
down as the
there's
worst
only
president. He's trying
30,000
so hard.
There's only 30,000 people in Greenland that are native. How are they
Okay.
going to join
So
us
what?
militarily? They don't have enough people they don't even have an army.
No, we could say, "Hey, can we buy some of your land?" No, Trump has an ego, and he has to. He's so worried about going down as the worst president, which he already is. But he's so worried. He wants to go down with a legacy, and the legacy is him just taking over land like Hitler did.
Oh, like
which
Hitler.
Is great.
Like
and
Hitler.
hopefully someday you're going to say things
You
like,
get
"I was just following orders."
you get so
I was
excited.
tricked by him.
You get so excited when you say Hitler. That's like food to you. It's like an energy drink. It's like you've done a Red Bull. Every time you say Hitler, you get more energy.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'll say it. I hate Hitler. Trump would never say that. Trump wants to be Hitler. He
wants to be
envious of
Hitler.
that.
He wants to be Hitler.
He does. You see it. You said it. You said the GOP sat in a room with him clapping about taking over another sovereign nation.
Greenland is
man.
not a
That's
sovereign
hilarious.
nation.
What if
Greenland is not a
they
sovereign
are
nation.
a sovereign nation of Denmark?
No, they're a colony of Denmark, and Denmark's been stealing all their resources for centuries.
What if Canada said, "I think for our national defense, we should take over Alaska"?
Try.
What if they said that?
Bring it on.
That makes sense.
Bring it.
right?
Bring it on. Hey, appreciate the call. Take care.
Yeah.
Oh man, listen to this. This is from someone who went over to Life Imaging FLA. Life Imaging FLA. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. By the way, they're all about proactive healthcare, right? Preventative healthcare, and they're saving lives all the time. Listen to this. I went to Life Imaging FLA for a heart scan just for peace of mind. I felt fine. I had no symptoms and was shocked to find that I had blockage. I did not know about it. Went to my cardiologist. He said I prevented a heart attack. This is amazing. You know, every time I read a review like that or a message from a listener like that, I say to myself, this is a person who is alive today because they went to Life Imaging FLA and had that heart scan. Sometimes they get the cancer screening too and they find out they got something there. So when you go over there for the heart scan, ask about the cancer screening. You know, I had both of these scans done. It took just a few minutes. I didn't have to put on a hospital gown. I wore my clothes. I didn't even have to take off my watch. And the scan is done in an open system. It's like a ring. It's quick. And you get the results and boom. And you find, like me, if you're like me, you'll have peace of mind. I don't have any blockage and no cancer. No plaque buildup either. But I'm hearing from people each and every day who are alive today because they took advantage of that scan at Life Imaging FLA. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements. Valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. Pound 250, say free heart scan. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
You know, that last caller, Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, this Austrian politician should have a little bit, I don't know, be a little bit more balanced, or at least understand his audience, because it's the world. And it was amazing to me that he was saying those things. And if Europe loses America and all the money that goes along and protection that goes along with it, they're screwed. So
I just got some breaking. Don't lose your thought, because we got a couple minutes left. Just got some breaking news. President Trump, we just seized that Venezuelan tanker that the Russians were trying to. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. This is developed during the program. There's a Venezuelan tanker off the coast of Europe somewhere filled with Venezuelan oil. The Navy was moving in to take that oil back for the people of Venezuela. The Russian Navy was close by. They moved in. The crew from this Venezuelan tanker painted a Russian flag on the outside of the ship and tried to declare they were Russian. We just seized it. The Navy just seized it. Yeah. We just defied the Russian Navy.
Yes, the Russian Navy. Yeah, it's. I mean, listen, we have the most powerful weapons in Navy, and I mean, painting the Russian flag. That is such a joke.
Yeah.
You know, my thought was, well, that's amazing. That's good news. It'd be good to see how that plays out during the rest of the day. We'll just take the oil back to Greenland, or probably into the Gulf of America, to one of the ports there. But you know, when it comes to Greenland, I mean, and I know we've heard talk about. You know, using the military. We're 100% going to be using the military. They're the ones that are going to be building the bases, the listening stations, the radar stations, etc. But we are, I mean, the thing to me is we already have, as far as, we're not going to be taking Greenland. That's not going to be by force. There's only 50,000 people there.
By the way, when I say 30,000, there's 30,000 adults, okay? And those are the ones that they get to vote and decide.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, listen, 4 divisions for American military, that's like 50,000 people. That's basically everybody. And, you know, we're not going to be taking it by force. We already have an agreement with them. We've had agreements with them from World War II, from
Correct.
the Cold War, with
Listen,
NATO,
I've only got about 20 seconds left, but I agree with everything you said. You make some good points. And I'm going to end with where I started. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when and how Greenland becomes a part of the United States. I think it's already been decided. I think President Trump has already made deals with people in authority inside Greenland. Sorry, Denmark. Find another country to rip off. All right. Take care. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in. And some freaked-out people on the phones today, but that's okay. Trump derangement syndrome, it's out there. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, we're clear. You know, you guys, my wife actually saw this yesterday online, and I grabbed it to put it up here. Don't you like this image I have up here? It's President Trump in the Oval Office. And for those that don't know, I think most people do, but for those that don't know, he's got Maduro there like Han Solo in the Empire Strikes Back. I love this. Would be more like, I guess, in Return of the Jedi when we see Han on display. But that's pretty cool. Whoever came up with that one, that's a good one. If you're new to my program, please subscribe and like the video. And I want to thank you guys again. And you guys have been doing this all week. And I get the data that tells me that you've been doing this from YouTube. Please take the link to the program and share it on your social media and invite your friends and followers to check out the show. I know a lot of you have been doing that this week. And it helps a lot because people find out about this show. I don't have a marketing budget, so you guys that listen and watch me, you are my marketing team. All you got to do, subscribe, like the video, and take the link and share on your socials. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Let me take this last call before I go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, once, twice, you didn't make, well, I shouldn't have taken. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll probably be back this afternoon, too. So if you hang in, you'll be next in line on the next show. All right, let me try one more. Nah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike here from Palm Beach.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, so, I hear all this talk about Trump and oil and Trump and taking over countries, but it's just the big picture that nobody, we're talking about it here, but nobody understands the big picture that China is starting to pluck countries off.
That's right.
In the Caribbean, in Central America.
Correct.
This is about reigning over. People don't realize that there's kind of a Cold War going on right now. Not really so much with with Russia, because they're really not a power player anymore. But China is going around the world right now and saying, don't borrow money from the IMF, borrow money from us. And like in Barbados, my wife's from Barbados, that China has sent a hospital ship there to Barbados, and they've been doing it for the past couple of years to show that they're like a good country and that they want to work with other countries in the Caribbean. But when I was in Barbados the last time, the Cuban president was in Barbados, and he was driving around he had like a big caravan of Rolls Royces. And I said to my wife, what the heck is this? What the heck is the Cuban president doing here? And then I looked on the hills, and I saw the windmills, and I saw the solar panels on the hills. And I realized that the Cuban president is there as he's working with China. He's gone to Xi Jinping's gone to the Cuban president and the Venezuelan president, and they're picking up these countries. And this is what these liberals don't realize. And just look at this guy in Austria. He's part of the program. If you can't see, and I really think that's why Europe became a union, because that was to protect themselves from China starting to pluck off countries. We see how Germany now has gone so liberal that they would literally just go to China right now practically already.
Yeah.
So this is a huge situation. This is all about China. The oil is just a caveat. That's just like a bonus, and freeing the people and doing all that. But the same thing with Greenland. The China has infiltrated Greenland's government, and the people know it. Like a lot of them, like us, we can see it. But the government is the one that's trying to rein everybody in to stay away from the United States, because they've already got Greenland's already got a backroom deal with China. You can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. A lot of these are satellite nations or in the process of becoming satellite nations for China, and President Trump's pushing China back to China.
Absolutely.
All right, good to talk to you,
happening.
Mike. All right, take care.
Thanks
All right,
for the call.
I'm going to take off, but I will be back this afternoon. This is the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.